Hello, and welcome to the continuation of our experience in Imagineer Vacationing, as we continue to track the plight of the Tiki. No, not the Tiki bird. Oh, no, not the Tiki plant, but the Imagineer, as he ventures down to sunny Orlando, not for a journey, not for a brisk walk, but for an odyssey to the land that is Orlando. To the world, the only world that counts in this life, Disney World, as we go to all sorts of parks, experiences, and delight in sunny Orlando. So without further ado, let's continue the venture.
Continue the Orlando Odyssey, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right, folks. God, it still hasn't been a week since I've gotten back. That's surreal to think about.
Yeah.
So we're back. Monkey, you are leaving for a trip. Your 60 days is coming up, right?
Right. Wow.
Yeah. So, Monkey, you're like in anticipation mode. I'm in like post-Disney depression mode. And Dragon, he hasn't been in a while, but I'd say Dragon being a local, not a local, but he lives closer than us. He's on the East Coast. We're on the West Coast.
Yeah, he's on the East Coast, close enough.
Yeah, so
I
Dragon,
don't know what state on the East Coast, but close enough.
Yeah. I'd wager to say that Dragon's probably been there more than us, just overall.
Oh yeah, kind of an Orlando veteran.
Gotcha. So that's why these three people have been picked out to cover my Orlando Odyssey.
Well, 3 including you.
Well, yeah, and of course I did it. I went on the Orlando Odyssey, so it's my Odyssey.
You did it!
Yatta! Okay, guys, so we're going to start at Spaceship Earth. If you remember, we ended the last podcast, part 1 at Animal Kingdom.
Give us a day count.
Yes. A very disenfranchised Tiki left Animal Kingdom thinking that it definitely had a couple standouts like Dinosaur and Flight of Passage, of course. But overall, as a park, it's not really all that hot. So we got back to the resort, and we were going to go see Yeehaw Bob Jackson at the River Roost Bar at the Port Orleans Riverside Resort. But before we go to see Yeehaw Bob Jackson, I actually decided to take a quick bus ride up to Epcot, which is why we are starting at Spaceship Earth. And this was just kind of like my one time actually like truly getting to exercise my park hopping powers. You know what I mean? Like I'm just literally going to go up to Epcot to ride Spaceship Earth and then come back. Like, and that was such a good feeling to be able to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If only it was in walking distance.
Oh, I know, right? But still, I was like, you know what? We've got a few hours to kill before Yeehaw Bob. I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And then, so I did that. I rode Spaceship Earth. That was cool. I kind of moseyed around the post-show of Spaceship Earth a little bit longer than I got the chance to the first night we did Epcot. And then I decided to go over to the Seas with Nemo and Friends.
Oh,
yeah.
I would have done Imagination this night if it weren't broken down, but it was broken down. So we'll get to Imagination. Okay, Seas with Nemo and Friends. You excited to hear my opinions on this one, Dragon?
Yes.
It was the worst ride of my whole trip.
What?
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to troll you, Dragon. I'm truly not.
The worst?
The worst.
How come?
Okay.
I mean, out of everything?
Correct me out of anything, Dragon. Yes.
Ugh.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Monkey. The anglerfish is supposed to actually move, right?
Yeah, it's like attached to a kuka arm.
No. It literally, the anglerfish was just static.
Okay, so I'm guessing it was broken then.
It was disco anglerfish. That's why it was the worst experience, because I was like, okay, this is like basically Finding Nemo Submarine Voyage without the submarines. But at least it's got a really cool anglerfish animatronic in it, and the anglerfish animatronic didn't even work.
Wow.
So granted,
if tunnel is cool.
Animatronic worked. I'm not sure if it would have been the worst attraction of the trip. It still would have been probably pretty low. But yeah, there's just a whole lot of nothing going on in that ride. There's some duplicate scenes from Finding Nemo Submarine Voyage that aren't pulled off as well because you're not in a submarine. Having said that, Dragon, I'll give you know where the Seas with Nemo and Friends really redeems itself, Dragon?
Where?
In the post show.
Mm.
Because the post show is basically classic Living Seas, and I loved it. I could have spent a whole hour in there just looking around at all the aquariums and stuff. My dad used to install aquariums for a brief time. He actually installed the aquarium at my high school that I went to. So that's kind of in the blood a little bit. That kind of runs in the family, just a fascination of aquariums and fishes and ocean life and whatnot. And I really dug it. The Seas, the post show of the Seas was actually kind of my favorite part of this quick trip to Epcot. Granted, it wasn't like a full day or anything. It was literally, I was in the park for probably less than an hour overall. But, it was nice. It was nice to just like walk around and see all the fish and everything.
I do think like this ride pulls off the EAC stronger than the subs, but
I'm sorry, the East Australian Current?
Yeah.
Could be. Yeah.
At least it's a neater sensation by like passing by some weird splatter shaped faded out screen.
Right.
I mean, so instead you get that neat little spinning bit.
Uh-huh.
Oh well.
Now I would have gone on the Seas again, except for I'll get to that. Why I didn't go on it again.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I really do want to see the animatronic in motion with the anglerfish.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we get back to the hotel and
did you do Turtle Talk?
No, I didn't do Turtle Talk, but I've done Turtle Talk before, so I know what it's like.
All right.
So,
keep going.
Okay, so we go and we do this. Yeehaw Bob Jackson at the River Roost.
I never even heard of, I don't think, till you mentioned them to us.
We got to keep track of like what day this is and the whole adventure.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. This is still day 3. This is day 3.
Okay, so Epcot and this is all on day 3.
This is the tail end of day 3. Yes.
Okay, tail end of day 3. Gotcha.
Tail end of day 3.
Okay.
So Yeehaw Bob is an amazing performer. This guy is like in his 70s, but he's got the physicality of like a 20-year-old.
Dang.
Like this guy does stuff with his body that I couldn't do.
Very much a Don O'Connor type.
Pretty much, yeah. Like he'll like play piano on his knees, which is a major thing for me because I'm developing pre-arthritis in my knees, I think. It's nothing serious or anything. It's just like that the doctors are kind of warning me about that. So regardless, like seeing Yeehaw Bob up on his knees, playing the piano on his stool, and just contorting his body around, and he puts on an amazing show.
He's got to be tricked. He's got to be like the most.
But I only saw a brief snippet on YouTube. I saw like the piano was rocking back and forth.
Oh, the piano rocks back and forth the whole show. Yeah, like he uses that piano as a prop.
Yeah, and he gets people involved in the act too, right?
Very much so. Very much so. He has a little bugle that he brings with him every show. And when he blows it, it's like obviously like really broken down. Like he doesn't like it doesn't blow at all. It's just like he tries to do a da 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 da, but it comes out like. But anyways, every time he blows on the bugle, everyone in the bar is supposed to stand up and do a Tarzan yell.
What?
I'm kid you not. He introduced that about halfway into his set, and the whole bar pretty much goes for it. I mean, Monkey, I'm telling you, this is live entertainment you would go out of your way to see. This is it's incredible live entertainment.
I don't know if I'll have time to see him, but yeah, that does sound like a cool experience.
It's a wonderful experience. It's a wonderful experience if you're looking to take a night away from the parks. The only thing is you have to show up about an hour early because it's a small bar and it'll get filled up easily. So yeah, it's probably too much of a time investment with that in mind too. But if you ever stay at Riverside, though, then by all fucking means, I'm trying to think of any other highlights. I mean, he coaxes sing-alongs. There's a whole Sherman Brothers section. Remember how I said that my favorite part of Carousel of Progress was the fact that it doesn't attract a huge audience, but it attracts a loyal audience?
This the same?
Yes. And as soon as Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow comes on, everyone in the bar starts singing along. And I'm like, yes, I love Carousel of Progress so much. Yeah, and I mean, like, and probably the best song he does is right towards the finale. He does American Pie.
Oh.
And he's like, you know, at the chorus, when he gets to the chorus, he's like, I don't care who you are. I don't care where you're from. I don't care if the rest of your day has been really crummy. I want to hear you sing. This guy is just... Oh, and you know what, Monkey? It's also kind of Rocky Horror-esque. You know why? It's got like rituals to it. It's got rituals.
Wow.
The Tarzan yell, which I mentioned, of course. Also, he's bald, and then he'll take off his hat, and he'll be like, "Are you sure my hair's okay?" And then the audience is supposed to scream back in Rocky Horror fashion, "You have no hair, Bob."
That's it.
I can picture him ringing a bell and saying, "We have a version."
Oh, I totally could too. That's the thing.
It's gotta sound like this guy's an animatronic himself. That's probably why he's so energetic and so like the most sophisticated animatronic ever.
And then the final song is always YMCA, and he makes all the guys get up on stage and act it out. And yeah, I mean, this guy he's just a super nice guy. I went to his show 3 times, so I won't bore you guys with the details of his other 2 shows. I'll just kind of briefly mention it. But both other shows that I went to, he knew exactly who I was. He incorporated me into the show. He kind of name dropped me a couple times. He's like, "Sing it, Tiki." He's super personable. You know what I mean? He's an example of a cast member that just goes above and beyond in their job.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So day 4.
Oh, that'd be cool if he stopped by the expo one year.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Okay, so day 4, we're not going to start in... Okay, we're not going to start in Magic Kingdom. We're going to start in Hollywood Studios.
Hooray!
And action!
Yep. Okay, so Hollywood Studios, of course, being the park that's... this is the park that's kind of under construction walls and everything right now. They're adding Toy Story Land. They're adding Star Wars Land, of course. So I wasn't expecting a whole lot from this park. I gotta say, I love the atmosphere of this park. I really kind of dug it.
This is my favorite of all the parks in Orlando. Oh yeah.
Well, I don't know, Dragon. I think if you went to Epcot, you'd change your tune.
I gotta tell you, even looking at even the stuff that Epcot has, I don't know if it still surpassed like all the connection I built up to this place. That's the thing. This one just might be a favorite.
How much of that connection includes the Great Movie Ride?
A lot of it has to do with the Great Movie Ride, which I know tragically has been...
You guys have no idea how frustrating it was to see the Chinese theater and knowing I couldn't go in it.
A large portion of it was attached to that Great Movie Ride. I mean, there were still so many other iconic... Like, even with that going, there's still like a whole lot of...
Wouldn't that be fun if they had an animatronic Miss Piggy stuck in the cement outside the Chinese theater?
Oh my god, yes.
Well, you know, they do have that somewhere...
Fly me over the towers of Metropolis!
I think it's... I don't know if it's in Florida or if it's in California, but whichever Epcot has... there's like a Bunsen and Honeydew that goes around.
Yes, that's the Muppet Mobile Labs. I wanted to see that so badly, but they don't have scheduled show times for it, so I never did.
Is it still a thing?
No, it should be like 12-1 and 2. That should be one of the shows.
It is still a thing, Monkey, yes.
Huh. Okay, I'll have to look for that.
I'm
sure it's been in California as well, but like it was like only briefly, like a long time ago.
Yeah, I think briefly in California. Very, very briefly.
The main thing I remember is that Honeydew sounded different.
Again, I've been having bad luck with I had bad luck with the great moments in history with the Muppets. That was kind of heartbreaking. All right. But no, getting into the park, I love all the old school Hollywood feel to it all.
Yeah.
Of course, you gave me the chance to visit the actual Hollywood when we went to go see Hamilton.
Right.
So that was a thrill. So I kind of knew
You
what
drove past the Chinese theater.
Yes.
And then there's something else I'll bring up at Universal, but whatever.
Okay. Sorry guys, I don't mean to like spoil the images. This clearly wasn't the best idea in terms of the uploads, in terms of going through these photo albums. Crap. Okay, here we go. So Tower of Terror, naturally, this was our first ride.
Yeah, it's full. Just letting you know, like, I haven't watched videos of it in ages, and I'm kind of not going to, but I still know the basic kind of layout of theirs. So,
Okay. Well, you know what's different between that and California.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, one of them is still Twilight Zone.
Well, I mean, just fundamentally.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how was it? How was it to finally? To get back to the tower, even.
Yeah, I mean, look, I actually kind of prefer the Mission Breakout theming now that I have it. As odd as that is to say, however, the grounds of the Tower of Terror at Hollywood Studios is incredible. Just how spread out it is, the gardens and everything. That is incredible, and I wouldn't trade that for Mission Breakout at all. I'm just saying, I think in terms of the queue, I think I prefer the queue of Mission Breakout to the queue of Tower of Terror. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I'd say it does.
Yeah. Now, in terms of the actual ride, it was great. It was perhaps... The Fifth Dimension room was perhaps a little less than I was expecting it to be, but it was still nice to get that experience of the buildup of actually, like, it being, relatively a surprise that your elevator's moving forward.
Like you don't cross a hallway to board your elevator.
Exactly.
That's gonna be so weird.
Right. And we actually managed to get on Tower of Terror 3 times, twice at rope drop, and then once just randomly in the middle of the day it had a 20-minute wait. So we were like, yeah, let's do it. So that worked out. And Tower of Terror at Hollywood Studios is one of those weird things where I feel like even though Tower of Terror is probably the better attraction, Rock and Roller Coaster develops a much longer wait. Maybe that's because of the capacity. I don't know.
Could be.
Because it's funny, because I feel like 10 years ago it was the exact opposite sentiment. Like 10 years ago, everyone loved Tower of Terror, and then Rock and Roller Coaster, people liked it a lot, but it wasn't like, it was no.
In a sense, maybe you'd almost even think Tower would get longer waits now because it's the only one left in the U.S.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Like I'm sure Tower will be the first thing I do there.
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Like, I'm sure Tower is going to be the first thing I do there.
Oh, yeah. I would recommend, in terms of fast passes, I would definitely recommend fast passing Rock and Roller Coaster and then just doing Tower of Terror standby. Unless you want to fast pass Midway Mania.
Are Midway and Rock and Roller Coaster the same tier?
Yes. The first tier is Midway, Rock and Roller Coaster, and Tower. And Phantasmic, as far as I know.
Right.
But you're probably not
super
interested in Phantasmic, I'm guessing.
Well, not for a fast pass. I'm definitely planning to see it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, not for a fast pass is what I mean.
Right.
Okay, so Dragon, any questions about Tower?
Nope.
Okay, moving right along. Okay, I'm not even going to bore you guys with the food, because the food in this park is so bland.
All right. There we go.
Well, hold on. Again, this is kind of out of order a little bit. Okay, here we go. Yeah.
Star Tours.
Okay.
So this would have had the new trilogy stuff.
Game show. Is it better?
Oh boy. All right. Well, again, this is like my fondest of all parks here. So I'm gonna hope as long as hope goes.
I don't even know this answer.
That it's better. I want it to be better so much. Tell me it was better.
I would guess better, because otherwise it's the same outside of the exterior or capacity.
I would say yes, the ride itself is better because it's got the better queue.
There you go.
However, I would say at Disneyland it fits into the actual park a little bit more.
Indeed. Yeah.
Because Disneyland, it's like, I like the I've always liked the location at Disneyland. I like that it's right at the front of Tomorrowland. That makes sense for a spaceport. Hollywood Studios, it's just in this weird little back corner of the park, which is beneficial for wait times, but it's weird in terms of, like, what exactly is this ride to the park? You know what I mean? Like, what is this? What are you trying to do?
They don't still have the little chairs for 3PO and R2, do they?
Not that I know.
Yeah, because I remember, like, at least in the classic version of the ride, like, as you entered, you would pass those little, like, you know, the chairs that they have on set that have the actors' names on them, or director.
Oh yeah. I didn't see them. They do have the key under the mat, though. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Muppets. I'm jumping ahead to Muppets.
Yeah. But, yeah, I know at least there used to be, like, chairs like that for 3PO and R2 as you went in the building.
I did not see them, but we rushed really quickly into it, so...
Yeah. Like, I think it's supposed to be like you're entering on a set or something.
I always like...
Pure justification for Hollywood.
I always like the correlation where, if I'm remembering correctly, it was like Star Tours is like across the way from Star Tours is the Indiana Jones ride. Like it's always like close by somewhere.
It's kind of like across the way. Yeah.
So I like how with Tatooine you kind of have like there's like a little bridge between Star Wars and Indiana Jones through Tatooine, which is kind of like in kind of a sort of like a marketplace setting almost. In reference to Indiana Jones, it kind of felt befitting, you know.
I'm curious, what sequence did you get?
Okay, we got Vader, then shoot.
Jakku?
Yeah, Jakku. And then we got the Last Jedi scene.
Really?
How about the transmission?
The transmission, I believe, was Yoda?
Huh, that's kind of weird that they still have, like...
What is this Last Jedi scene? This is new stuff. Like, what's the new...
you go through that...
on the mining planet.
Okay.
Yeah. You go through the caverns, and then you pass through the battle, and then you go out of there, and you wind up at Star Wars Land.
And that was the best part of Star Tours for me, is just the synergy there. Like, oh my god, we're in Star Wars Land. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That was a cool moment.
Yeah, it's weird. I figured that they would have also changed all their scenes to New Trilogy, like out here.
Yeah, I don't know. It still bothers me that you see Darth Vader and then you see Poe. Or Finn.
Yeah, because I don't think they show the Vader scene here anymore, at least for now.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Vader, unless it was... Do they have an alternative that's Kylo Ren, but basically the same thing?
Oh, yeah, that's what it would be otherwise.
Oh, then then I'm pretty sure I got Kylo Ren then.
Okay. I mean, they don't have Yoda here anymore either, but...
I don't remember the transition, honestly. Don't quote me on that.
Okay, like here it's either BB-8, Poe, or Maz.
You know, I actually think we got BB-8 now that I think about it.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Star Tours kind of happened in a blur. Like, we didn't even really plan on going on it. It just had a...
To quote the Allison Janney droid, it's all a blur!
But what did you think of the gift shop?
I don't really even remember the gift shop.
It's Tatooine themed, right?
Yeah, it was nice. You know, I have like all the... I'm saying, like, a lot of cool products. You can do like the frozen carbonite thing. It's got a lot of, you know...
Nice.
I'm picturing the Frozen characters in Carbonite.
I really like the gift shop that's attached to the Disneyland version, Star Trader. That's one of the best gift shops at Disneyland, I think. That's where I got my Storybook Land episode.
Did you see the Buzz?
Strikes Back shirt.
when you were in line for when you're in like the line for the queue for Star Wars, for Star Tours, did you see the Buzz Lightyear Easter egg, or did you get that?
No.
It's
Yeah,
great. Like they have the X-ray machine, and they might have updated it since
I mean, it depends on like when you pass by there and how good.
I mean, Dragon, you got to understand there was no line, so we literally went like right into the boarding area.
I remember going on Star Tours, and then I remember last year I went. I struck it just right, so I could go like literally right after I finished it. We could just run to the entrance, just go through it again.
Nice.
Like, yeah, let's do it again. Run. Because the randomizer, because I heard about the little, you can get like various different paths. It was like one that's I think the last time was like when they either started or like when it was relatively new when they did put in the randomizer before Force Awakens and everything. So it was like kind of the perfect kind of time to get the randomizer almost. So it was just a really good experience.
I gotta tell you though, with the sequences that I got with Kylo Ren, Jakku, and then
Crate.
Yeah, Crate.
Last Jedi.
Like that to me would be a pretty good definitive version of the new Star Tours.
Yeah, I do kind of prefer the new trilogy version.
Because as you know, Monkey, my big gripe with new Star Tours is how it would just hop through the timeline.
Yeah.
So
I remember we spoke of weather last time, and it's kind of funny. One year when I was going on Star Tours, it was raining, and it basically was like the most. It felt, even though it didn't rain in Return of the Jedi, it felt like the most indoor woods of any weight in the outside. I don't know what it was. It just felt like so much like you're in Endor, like you're on another planet because of that rainy atmosphere on the outside. And you had a little bit of cover. I mean, it was so immersive. Just seeing the Imperial Walker outside.
Now, what if they had an animatronics of the one Ewok trying to wake up its dead friend?
Oh God,
awfully morbid.
And of course, Dragon, we'll be getting into a queue that's themed around the woods. Very soon.
Certainly. Oh, did you see the whole Path of the Jedi, like a little stunt show? Did you see any of that?
No, but that was nice because it drew people away from the walkways.
Yay, diversions that work in our benefits or your benefits, whatever.
Yeah, so I know like there's the Jedi training, I've seen that, but this Path of the Jedi thing, I'm a little fuzzy on it. Do you guys know anything about it?
I think Path of the Jedi is just like
Isn't
clip
that like
show.
The best of clip show?
Yeah.
Is that the Boba Fett show?
No, I think it's
Boba
just
Fett
a movie.
show? What?
Well, there's this like the stormtroopers like kind of I don't know if it was Path of the Jedi or not. But
I think you're just talking about the Imperial March. They have like a march with Captain Phasma.
Well, no,
I'm picturing something like Boba Fett has a talk show.
Well, here's
you know what, guys. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be rude here, but we're spending way too much time on Star Tours.
All right, fine. Let's move on.
My trip, so
let's fly on.
All right. Move on. Okay, Muppet Vision.
Yes. Oh God, yes.
You guys are not gonna like what I have to say.
You wouldn't.
It's a bit dated.
Oh.
This point, I don't care anymore.
Monkey, at this point, I feel like if it came back to California, it'd be a little bit awkward.
Yeah, I guess.
I understand that that's not what you want to hear. I get it, but at this point, I really think they need to update it. I really think they need to get James Bobbin in there and just update it. I know that Muppet Vision 3D, like, they need to archive Muppet Vision 3D, of course. They need to release it on DVD and everything. But, I would update the film. That's what I would do, because the film itself doesn't, like, the 3D effects don't really hold up all that well. The animatronics don't really hold up all that great. It needs an update. It really.
That's kind of the charm, though.
I get it, okay? I really get it. I mean, you're talking to the guy who met Dave Goelz twice. You're talking to the guy who had a comedy routine with Gonzo impromptu. You know what I mean?
Okay, comedy routine's a little generous. Comedy routine, yes.
Oh. Yeah, Tiki, I hear you as well. I hear you.
I wanted this re-experience to be more special than it actually was. Because Muppet Vision, for a brief period of time, because basically what happened is that on my first trip, we went to California Adventure First. We did Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. We did Muppet Vision. And then we park hopped over to California, over to Disneyland and did the Tiki Room. So I just want you guys to imagine like little 11-year-old Tiki experiencing Muppet Vision and then innocently walking over from California Adventure to the Tiki Room, not realizing what fundamental shift in my life the Tiki Room is going to have on me. Like that little window of time walking out of California Adventure and walking into the Tiki Room. You know what I mean? But having said that, I love Muppet Courtyard. I wish they did more with it. I think that Mama Melrose needs to be rethemed to a Muppet restaurant. I would love to see like a Rolf Piano Bar or something like that. That was actually proposed on So You Want to Be an Imagineer this past round, a Rolf Piano Bar to replace Mama Melrose. So it's kind of on the mind.
Do they have the Pizza Planet restaurant anymore?
No, now it's
actually Pizza Rizzo now.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
What I hear is only really Muppet themed in name.
Yes. From what I hear, I didn't go in it.
Yeah, it's a shame. Even though it wasn't anywhere near as cool as Pizza Planet, it was just nice that they had a place, that was Pizza Planet, and that general. I don't know, it was nice, but now not so much.
That being said, I did buy myself a Kermit the Frog.
Oh, that's nice.
And he's a pretty big, full-size Kermit the Frog, too. Like, not like a little tiny plushie. Like, he's like a pretty full-size one.
Yeah.
And I was walking around the park.
What if there was like a talking Kermit doll, and on the back there was a little switch, like so you could switch the voice from Henson to Whitmire to Vogel.
I think that one might be a little...
I-ho! I-ho!
And like the middle would say, and this is what happened to me.
Oh, God.
Well, nothing's
Mommy,
happened to me yet.
Why is Kermit so embittered?
Oh, God.
Well, when you've lived as long a life as I have, you see things.
I was walking around the park with Kermit on my shoulders like a toddler, and I was just
like in that promo video,
embracing the geekiness of that.
I see you like that kid in the planning videos who's happily lifting Kermit up in the air.
That's pretty much what I was. And then I showed you the picture of when I went on Tower of Terror. I lifted Kermit to the camera. Yeah,
It's the Tower of Terror with our special guest star, Ron Serling. Yay!
Oh, dude, oh my God! If only that was a lost episode of the Muppet Show. Oh my God! You have no idea how much I want to see that now.
The stuff you could do with Uncle Deadly.
Oh yes.
Let's see.
Okay, so yeah, Muppet Vision. I wish I had kinder things to say about it. It's just, as of now, it's been gone from California Adventure so long that I think it'd be a little bit weird if it just suddenly came back.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I think the best case is to update it. Like, get James Bobbin in there to direct a new 20-minute short.
Mm-hmm.
Get some new animatronics, get... Sweetums still holds up. Sweetums is still...
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just that moment, like, I was losing my mind as a kid when Sweetums, came out there. Like,
they don't still have Constantine in the pre-show, do they?
Not that I saw, no.
Okay.
But like I said, they do have the key under the mat, though, and that made my grandma very happy. Okay, moving on from one...
right along in search of good times and good news.
Hollywood Studios is very much the show park, and with that in mind, we went to Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular.
Insert Full House or step-by-step reference here.
Oh, God.
Oh, gosh.
I think that one stunt double jerk mentions ended up working on the Florida project.
So Indiana Jones was a really interesting show. The one painful part about it is when they're picking the extras and they're just doing all this goofy shit with the extras at the beginning of the show. I'm like, okay, I really don't care about all this comedy stuff and like all this awkward cringe humor with the extras. I really don't care. Just move on with it. I want to see Indy, goddammit.
Miss Piggy, how are we going to explain this to Big Bird?
Oh, God. But after the show got going, when they have the temple part and everything, it gets really cool.
Yeah, I remember the temple being cooler than it was in the movie.
The what?
I remember the temple being cooler than in the movie.
I wouldn't say that much. I wouldn't go that far.
Maybe. I mean, It's like I watched the movie for the first time, like, where's all those other booby traps from the show?
There are more booby traps. Yeah, I just think the set itself is more elaborate in the movie. I mean,
Okay.
Set versus a theme park show set.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. There probably are more actual booby traps on the set of the show. And then the thing that was really impressive to me about the show is I thought it was really cool how they highlighted the stunt people in this show.
Like Steve.
What?
There's a Full House joke. Never mind, keep going.
All right, enough.
Oh yeah.
I'm not a Full House guy. All right, so you guys are gonna have to give me some mercy with this.
Okay.
The only thing I know about the Full House special is that the Coral Reef restaurant is where they find out that Michelle is lost.
Yes.
And that's only because Evan was like, when I got reservations for Coral Reef, Evan was like, oh, congratulations, you get to eat at the place where they found out Michelle was lost in Full House.
I think I was the one who said.
Oh, you might have been. You might have been.
Chip and Dale are hitting on Rebecca.
Oh,
boy, stranger yum-yums.
We have that awesome genie, which I wish was still there, but he's not, darn it. Anyway.
The best thing about Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular is how it turns from an outside show, or from an inside show to an outside show.
Oh, yeah.
That was really neat. I love how the huge sets are just like, okay, we're just going to like this wall is just going to be moved out now. We're just going to move this building around, you know. It was a really cool kind of behind the scenes look into movie making. It reminded me of a Universal show in that regard, in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So after the Epic Stunt Spectacular, actually, I think I'm kind of shoot. Sorry, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's the Kermit picture.
Hey! Oh my god, that's so adorable.
Right?
Well, next time you check
I
into a
just love
deserted
the
hotel
idea.
on the dark side of Hollywood, make sure you know what kind of vacancy you're filling.
I just love the idea of Tiki going around with a little Kermit on his shoulder. It just sounds like a whimsical adventure, you know, like, oh boy, Kermit the Frog on a theme park vacation. It's bound for some joy.
Well, it was funny because my grandma bought herself a pair of socks, and she was kind of embarrassed. She was like, because they were like Minnie Mouse Disney socks, and she was like, oh, these socks are kind of dorky. And I'm like, Grandma, we're in Walt Disney World. This is like the kingdom of the dorks. Embrace the dorkiness. Okay, next was Ariel. God, I
Voyage of the Little
Ariel's
Mermaid.
Undersea Adventure. Voyage of the Little Mermaid, right?
Yeah.
So this was an interesting little time capsule.
I love that description.
When showing clips from a movie through half the show could get you away with that. You know, like,
yeah.
The really fascinating thing to me about this show is that I could imagine when this show first opened, it was like super popular and super high tech.
Oh yeah.
Because it came out right around the time that the Little Mermaid movie came out. Of course, Little Mermaid was like the Frozen of its day in terms of popularity. So yeah, I could see this show being like huge. I could see
this open mid-90s.
I want to say, yeah.
Well, I had to.
Like
92. Okay, 92.
Early to mid 90s, but okay, 92. Yeah, that makes sense. The movie came out in 89. It figures they can only have like that much time to develop it. Yeah.
I mean, there are some things about the show I really like about it. I really like the theater itself.
Oh yeah.
How it does kind of get you into the and of course the undersea effect. The undersea effect is kind of like what they were gonna do with the wet dry technology in the actual Little Mermaid Dark Ride. Before Ariel's Undersea Adventure, I say the actual Dark Ride. You know what I mean? The one that was kind of like Peter Pan's Flight.
Yeah. You're talking about the black light puppetry, right?
Really cool.
Well, what?
The Ursula puppet.
Oh, yeah.
And we were actually sitting right next to Flotsam and Jetsam when they came out.
Who are super basic.
Super basic, but it was still really neat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, proximity and such.
Exactly.
Physical effects.
Yeah, like I said, just the fact that they used like footage that's obviously probably ripped straight from VHS was charming as all hell. As I said, this is totally a time capsule.
Yeah.
All right.
But it's got some cool stuff in there too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, next was Spoon Arthur.
Spoon!
Wow, I literally scratched my throat doing that.
Ah.
Wow. Oh.
So through a series of
Nothing but
strange
spoons.
circumstances, you found yourself at this show.
So this show is on drugs.
Okay.
This show is on drugs because it just has huge lapses in memory. It takes out like ice cream scoop chunks full of plot.
Well, this image does scream drugs, honestly. You see people holding spoons for the BR guest, presumably for the BR guest number, if I'm just interpreting this image out of context, right?
I'm going to assume it's for BR guest.
Well, you were there!
All right.
I was also in. Never mind. Nah.
What really threw me off is how they went straight from
Through a series of strange circumstances.
Adventure in the Great White Somewhere to and now I'm a prisoner in the Beast Castle.
Yeah.
What?
Like,
Oh, yeah, it does go by fast. Yeah,
the girl has lost her father and her freedom in one day. What father?
I know. I'm like, wait, what?
I am the master of this castle.
No, okay, this show is, I mean, it's not great at all. It's really not.
Yeah, like...
It's no Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Like... like, it's very possible I won't do this, but actually... Tiki, your thoughts made me think, like, maybe I will see it.
It was funny. I'll give it that. It was funny.
Like, yeah, I've seen video of it, so yeah, it's...
Uh-huh.
And it might be fun.
You probably saw Dogan's review of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And spin!
God. I like, and then the Beast costume, like the transition between the Prince and the Beast is so awkward. It's like the Beast goes off stage, and then like 10 seconds later, or the Prince goes off stage, and then 10 seconds later, it's like, and he was turned into a terrible beast.
Isn't there like a hairy arm over the sheet? Over a sheet?
I don't even remember.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I guess this
just did this to kill time for our Rock and Roller Coaster Fast Pass.
Yeah.
So,
I guess this show is like helped convince Eisner to go ahead with making a Broadway version.
well, there you go. I mean, to tell you the truth, I hate to say this, but this show kind of turned me off from the idea of seeing the Broadway version.
I swear the Broadway one is better.
Oh, I'm sure it is, but I've seen so many renditions of Beauty and the Beast in theme parks now, though. Like, I saw the Disneyland storytelling one at the Fantasy Fair, too.
Right.
So, I'm kind of Beauty and the Beast out at this point.
Okay.
I don't know. And as we discussed beforehand, oh God, I really need to see the Julie Taymor Lion King. Though I am going to go see Into the Woods.
Yay!
So that's a start.
Which Disney took under their wing to mixed results, but
Yeah,
so it's kind of a Disney musical.
Kind of.
Retroactively.
Okay.
But if you took ice cream scoop chunks out of the Into the Woods plot for a theme park show,
Oh God.
that would be a
You'd end up
mess.
with a movie, I'm guessing.
Maybe not quite, but
Okay, next was Rock and Roller Coaster. There was literally a guy in the pre-show who yelled, "How about some backstage passes?" And
that is great.
I appreciated that. I was like, I haven't even been on. This is my first time on the ride, but I know all about that line. So, also, there's this creepy thing that the Magic Bands do. Rob, I don't know if you've done it or not. Where
I've never used a magic band.
Oh, geez. Okay, well, be prepared for a little bit of 1984 because when you scan in for your Fast Pass, your name will show up in the actual attraction.
Oh.
So my grandma's name showed up on a rock poster in the queue.
Oh, wow. What?
And then when I went on Small World, my name showed up in like the postcards, like, so long, Tyler. Yeah, it's a bit 1984.
Is that like their response to the E.T. adventure?
Maybe?
Like, you can actually, tell that it's your name and not just, did they not say my name?
E.T. adventure, I wasn't even like, as soon as E.T. started speaking, I was like, nope, I'm not even gonna try to hear my name.
Well, we'll get to that, but yeah.
We will. I was gonna give them my name as Tiki, but I'm glad that I didn't because I wouldn't have been able to hear it anyways, and that probably would have held up the line.
Well, anyway, okay, that's gonna be crazy.
Yeah. Because at first we just thought, like, wait a minute, like, Grandma, is that you? Like, oh my god. So my grandma hated this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which is actually kind of surprising because she loves California Screamin'.
Well, and she had a featured role in the ride. You'd imagine she'd like it more.
She loves California Screamin'. More surprisingly,
Ghost Rider.
She loves Ghost Rider. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember this being rougher than Screamin'.
But it's not as rough as Ghost Rider, even with the retrack
Fair
of
enough.
Ghost Rider.
But, she's a Nick Cage fan.
Oh, God. I liked it just fine. I just don't get the hype around it.
Uh-huh.
Like, I think Tower of Terror is a 10 times better attraction all the way around, from pre-show to exterior to ride experience.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun. It's just not something that I go out of my way to marathon or anything like that.
Yeah.
All right. Then after that, we left Hollywood Studios. We pretty much cracked out all we wanted to crack out.
Whoa. Hold it.
What?
They left Hollywood Studios.
Dragon, I didn't do Toy Story because I've already done Toy Story and Pixar I was going to call it Pixar Pier in California Adventure. And I didn't feel like waiting 2 hours for it, all right? Sue me.
Yeah. I mean, even if it is a immersive queue, it's still the same ride.
Just tell me one thing. Did you at least go by the gate, the entrance, the Pixar entrance?
Do they still have that even?
Pixar entrance, yes. I didn't go into it.
All right.
BlueDragonFive is very protective over his Pixar, folks. Okay, so then after that, we took the bus back to the hotel. I recuperated a little bit, and then I went to Magic Kingdom After Hours, the event that I had to pay $130 to get into, and it was the best $130 I've ever spent.
Hooray!
So I went there. I got there a couple hours before park closing, and I was able to get on a couple repeats of things that I knew would be closed for after hours. So I got on the Country Bears. I got on Carousel of Progress again. And then I had a really special moment, actually, when I went to go try a citrus swirl for the first time. I didn't like the citrus swirl, but I ended up finding a very quiet, out-of-the-way spot in Adventureland, and guess what happened? The fireworks started going off.
Whoa.
Like, in view.
Oh my god. Wow.
Perfect. But you know what my first reaction to fireworks going off is at Disney?
Crowds?
No, I need to get to an outside ride right away.
Ah.
So I booked it for the Jungle Cruise.
Oh, so the magic carpets of Aladdin weren't good enough?
Oh my god, no, they weren't.
You make me sick!
Granted, that probably would have been a better view of the fireworks.
Yeah.
Or Dumbo.
Well, Dumbo was all the way across the park.
All right.
Yeah.
I probably couldn't have even physically got into Dumbo at that point.
Yeah.
But, no, okay, so Jungle Cruise, let's play the game. Is it better?
I'm going to guess no.
Monkey?
It's not better?
I'm guessing no?
The ride itself is not as good as the ride at Disneyland in terms of the sets, animatronics, all that good stuff. Disneyland has been updated relatively recently, so they have the piranha effect, they have an explosion, just stuff that Disney World doesn't have. Having said that, in terms of skippers, I'll get back to the skippers. I had a good one the first time I went, but I went on it a second time during magic hours or after hours. And we'll get back to that. We'll circle back to that. Okay, let me see. So then after the fireworks, I redeemed a fast pass for Small World. Small World, is it better?
I remember what you said your grandma thought of the facade.
She hated it.
I'm going to say no. It is not better.
Ding, 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 ding. Look, it was weird. I think the exterior does so much at Disneyland that's why I have to give the edge to Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
I think the actual ride at Disney World, I might give the slight edge to, just because I like the flooded building thing they got going on in there. I like that, like, the whole room is pretty much flooded.
Mm-hmm.
Because, Dragon, you got to realize, at Disneyland, it's literally just you're going through a flume.
Yeah, like you're going through a flume in some office building.
That's literally what it feels like. I mean, I love Small World. Don't get me wrong. I love it to death. But yeah, it very much feels like you're going down a flume through an office that happens to have some amazing Barry Blair set pieces in it.
How is it to not have characters in it?
Pretty nice, actually. And I got to see the rainforest again, which was wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
That was great, Monkey. That was one of the highlights of the trip for me. I was like, oh my god, I forgot we have the rainforest in here.
Yeah.
Okay, and then after that, I went into Tomorrowland. I quickly went through to say hi to Sunny Eclipse.
Our Lord and Savior.
Right. And then
how was it? How was he? How was he? Tell me everything.
There's not much to say. I stuck around for like the end of a song and then moved on.
Do you remember which song?
No. Look, I would have stuck around longer. I just wanted to get in. I just wanted to get the People Mover in before the After Hours event started.
Yeah, I'm glad you saw him at all. So
yeah. So I did the People Mover. That was divine. I really wish we had the People Mover in
here.
In California, of course.
Awesome
to see the Progress City model. Awesome to see the Space Mountain queue and everything, and Buzz Lightyear and everything.
Yes!
Else. Look at Dragon. Dragon is so... Hey, Dragon, Toy Story.
I'm not your fiddle, buddy.
God. Pudding. All right. Oh, also, I forgot to mention this, but I also got to do Swiss Family Treehouse, which was really cool.
Ah, right. Yes.
But tell me, what'd you think of Space Ranger Spin, though? Come on, man.
Are we there yet?
No, we're not there yet.
Okay, all right. He name dropped it. I thought we might have been there. Keep going.
No, only caught a glimpse.
Well, I did do Space Ranger Spin later on, but we're not quite
yeah, at this point in time, though.
Okay, so it's Tomorrowland. You got fireworks. The whole night's kicking off.
Really quick about Swiss Family. There was a nice moment at the top of the treehouse where I just kind of had to stop and take in the scenery for about 5 minutes. That was nice. I love moments on Disney trips when you can just do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry. I just kind of wanted to reminisce about that little moment. Okay, so after I got out of People Mover, After Hours had officially started. I had 3 hours of the park basically to myself. It was like me and like maybe 1,000 other people. It's like literally less crowds than an extra Magic Hour.
Oh.
Yeah, it was so nice.
Want. For free, of course, but still.
Well, yeah, of course. So the first thing I hit up was Space Mountain. My plan was to do both sides of it, but unfortunately I kind of got screwed over because by the time I got around the second time, they had already closed off the side I didn't do the first time. So it's like, whatever, re-ride.
So did you go through that unthemed hallway?
What unthemed hallway?
in the Space Mountain load. Like, don't...
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that is kind of weird.
Have not experienced that, kind of look forward to it.
I mean, it's like right before the loading area, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I do like the loading area, though. The loading area is weird, too, though. It's not as good as the Disneyland. It's more intimate.
Yeah. Although I remember before the 09 refurb, like, it didn't really have a ceiling, so you could look up and kind of see the ride. Yeah.
Okay. And then I got to Buzz Lightyear.
All right.
Is it better?
Come on, fingers crossed. Yes. Well,
Dragon, if it makes it feel better, there are a few aspects I like better, but...
I know it has a different.
But
Doesn't
it's
it have a
not my
different name
trip.
at least.
Yeah, it's Space Ranger Spin versus Astro Blasters.
Yeah.
I like Astro Blasters better than Space Ranger Spin in name, too. Buzz Lightyear's good. Men in Black completely blows it out of the water in every fucking category, and we'll get into that.
It's kind of an unfair comparison, but sure.
I don't care if it's an unfair comparison. Men in Black is the best shooting.
That's a fair comparison, I'd say.
Yeah, I think
one is literally, that's what the thing is. The other one's like kind of extrapolation or something. It's not 100% the same type. Okay, no, keep going.
Okay. I don't know. I don't have a ton to say about Buzz Lightyear. I think there's more physical stuff going on in Astro Blasters, and also the main reason why I prefer Astro Blasters is the actual guns. Like, you can take the guns out and, like, aim them around and stuff, whereas they're locked in place in the Disney World version, and that to me is, like, kind
cannons.
of a factor.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you hold the button in, it won't stop firing, but, you know, you gotta hold that button in tight for 5 minutes.
Right.
4 minutes.
I mean, it's not that I didn't like it. It's just, I gotta be honest with you, all the dark rides kind of started to blur together for me this night. So, for example, the next ride I went on was Winnie the Pooh. I do think it's better at Disney World, but I couldn't tell you exactly why.
I do the bouncing.
Yeah, the bouncing. The bouncing was like the main thing where I was like, oh, okay, this is way better than at Disneyland. I do like the loading area and everything better at Disneyland, though. So then I went ahead and caught a ride on Barnstormer just to say I did it. Because it was a walk-on. I was like, fuck it.
Yeah.
The line was still pretty bad for Seven Dwarves and Peter Pan, because I'm assuming most everyone who was at the After Hours event were at those two attractions. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to circle back. Like, if I don't get on Seven Dwarves, it's not the end of the world. I really want to get on Peter Pan, but I'm not going to waste 30 minutes in line in an event I paid for, so... So I walked right on Haunted Mansion. That was really cool to do at night. I wish I would have done Haunted Mansion at midnight.
Oh.
But I didn't want to keep my grandma up that long, because if I would have done Haunted Mansion at midnight, I would have had to go through the pre-show and everything, and it's a 10-minute ride, and then I would have had to walk out of the park, so I probably wouldn't have been up. I probably wouldn't have been back at my hotel till like 1 a.m. if I would have done Haunted Mansion last. Then I did Splash and Thunder Mountain. I basically did Splash Mountain, Thunder Mountain, Splash Mountain.
Mountain Palooza.
Yeah. I didn't do Thunder a second time, because Thunder actually had about a 10-minute wait to it. Like, most of this stuff was walk-on, but some minor things were like a minor wait.
One could say Tiki
like the mine trains?
Yes, like the mine train, yes. Then I was planning on doing Tiki Room, but it was fucking creepy because it was deserted.
Well, that's the optimal time to do that, Tiki. You could have been the only one in there.
I could have been. You're right, but I didn't want to...
That could have been your Omen moment. That could have been your moment of, you need like a defining... So, like, if you had to rewrite your history, Tiki, like how the name came to be, that would be the moment I was in the Tiki Room alone.
I would not replace the actual story of how my name came to be.
I would say it'd be more like kind of dramatic and ominous, like than the symbol called to me.
Oh God.
Anyway,
Okay. No, it was legitimately unsettling being the only person in the Tiki Room pre-show. And the problem was I did not know when the show was going to start, and I was kind of too shy to ask the cast member when the show was going to start. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go. Which I hated doing to the Tiki Room, but at the same time, as we already established, Tiki Room at Disneyland is way, way, way better.
And more personal for you.
It's more personal. It's better. It's just, of course, it's got Walt's fingerprints. So, yeah.
Well, look, if you're ever in a position again, but you're at Disneyland and you can do it solo, that's going to be your old man Tiki moment there. That's going to be like closing the loop. You got to do it that time.
Old man Tiki. And then to rip off a joke from the latest Kevin Smith podcast, and then they'll just like have the X in the tombstone, and they'll put the X down, and it'll be like...
It'll be a T.
Oh, God. Yes, it'll be a T that then turns into an X because I'm an X-Men.
No, I'm saying it's like someone undid the X, so it starts off as an X, and then you make it the proper T for it was never X. It was a T.
Okay, then we did Jungle Cruise, and I got to give a huge, huge shout out here. Skipper Brian. Best Jungle Cruise skipper I've ever had.
Right.
We're talking, I'm sure it was because it was the after hours thing, but we're talking 80 to 85% of his jokes were improv.
Well, you got the nightlife skipper, that's why. You have to have the lively ones for the after hours.
Any examples of the jokes?
So much improv on the Jungle Cruise. This was my best Jungle Cruise experience ever.
He's got less to lose. That's why he can be more free and comfortable in the role.
Exactly.
And any examples of his jokes?
I'm trying to think of a good one. I'm trying to think of good ones. I will say he totally went over the top with his personality, because his personality was just that he's just super proud of his jokes, and he's just like, he just thinks he's hot shit. And he like basically thinks he's a rock star in his own head, and he's like patting himself on the back the whole ride. Like that would, like, he was playing a character, you know.
He's like the Peter Quill of Jungle Cruise skippers.
Right. And then the cool thing was, like, when I got off the boat to and I was like, hey man, you did a really great job. He totally like dropped his cocky persona. He's like, oh, thanks, man. That means a lot to me. Have a good night.
So yeah, it was kind of like a Lean Joe Green.
He was totally putting on a character, you know? But here's the thing with the Jungle Cruise. I feel like if you compliment a skipper at the Jungle Cruise in City Hall, you're actually having them be at risk. Because I feel like that's like, hey, someone told me you were improvising too much at the Jungle Cruise, Brian. You know what I mean?
You've doomed Brian.
I would have put in a compliment. I really would have put in a compliment if I didn't worry about, like, yeah, but if I say he was improvising, then that's gonna like not look that's not gonna look great for him.
They do it like Vegas. They take Brian into a room. It says, Brian, it's like for some reason still Michael Eisner, like an animatronic.
I also just want to point out just so you get like a clear mental image of this guy. He's like kind of like the average like 20-something Asian college student. So just Skipper Brian, yeah.
So imagine yourself, you have Michael, either like a Michael Eisner type or like an animatronic of Eisner just to make it creepy, just to scare the new guys. So you put him in there, just,
an animatronic of Eisner that they never bothered to update when Bob Iger came into power.
Hot!
That was like Eisner's one last act of cheapness. Is like, all right, I'm gonna leave, but you can't update the animatronic.
It's like it's a secret that not even Bob Iger knows about. That it's like when they have prison guards who do horrible things to people. It's like, hey, we gotta scare the new guys. We gotta keep them in line, or else the bosses on the higher ups, they're not gonna like what we're gonna do. So listen, we have this secret.
And the thing is, this Michael Eisner animatronic is like, it's like Uncanny Valley. It's like Ex Machina status.
And he has Mickey Mouse ears on. This is
the same Mickey Mouse ears that were in Jurassic Park at Hollywood.
Yeah, but Michael's spelled wrong.
Oh God.
And he's just, so basically he's there. It's like kind of, it's almost like he has like a few pieces missing from the animal, so like some wiring or something sticking out. Brian.
8 nights at Eisner's.
Brian, we stick to the script because that's the Disney way. We like to do it like Walt would do it. And when you deviate from that, well, that makes us all look bad, Brian. Don't do that again. Or else you'll become a fixture. Anyway,
All right.
so, moving on from that.
Okay, so after that, I decided to head into Fantasyland. I did Peter Pan with no wait. Thank God.
So you were lighter than a feather. No, I'm kidding.
Monkey, the new queue for Peter Pan is incredible.
Right.
I would really make a point to see it.
Yeah, I'm planning to.
I'm not sure if you can see it if you go through standard fast pass. I'm not sure
Probably
what the
not.
deal is with that. Don't quote me on that. I'm just saying it's really cool. It's like I would say it's on the level of Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin. Maybe not quite as good as that, but like on the same kind of level as that. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But
so
yeah.
It's probably got to be better than like switching back past some cutouts of palm trees.
Well, yeah. Okay, so Peter Pan's flight, is it better?
Well, based on it being nighttime too, I would like to say it was better.
Monkey, do you know the answer for this?
I think.
Okay, Dragon.
You know, when you drag it out, it just makes it a little much. All right, when you just.
I think Peter Pan's flight is way better at Disneyland for one reason and one reason only. They don't have the volcano scene at Disney World. And the volcano scene is my favorite scene in the Disneyland version because you've got all those stars all around you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you get to see Neverland, I guess, like the various scenes in Neverland, but yeah, I hear you.
It's not the same,
Stars
though.
are stars. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the same.
No, instead you have Fire, Mr. Smee!
Which is so...
Fire, Mr. Smee!
Yeah.
Fire, Mr. Smee! I mean, that's pretty awesome that it's an on the continuously loading system. That probably helps the wait time, but nevertheless.
Uh-huh. Okay, so then I did Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. I did it twice. Mostly just to get my money's worth because I knew it was a super popular ride that was going to be hard to get on any other time. So I'm like, yeah, screw it. I'll do it twice.
Did you do Pirates?
No, Pirates was closed when I was there, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
It actually
Fire, Mr. Smee!
Pirates actually closed the day before I flew in. So that was bad timing.
I blame Eisner.
Okay, so afterward...
Not the actual Michael Eisner. Keep going.
So afterwards, I was very emotional. This was one of the more emotional moments for me because I knew I wasn't going to be back to Magic Kingdom the rest of the trip. And so I did not want to leave the damn park. It was close to midnight. I just decided to walk out in front of the castle for the Kiss Goodnight. And the Kiss Goodnight Dragon, if you don't know, that's basically just like Mickey Mouse kind of coming in over the loudspeakers like, oh, have a good night. And then When You Wish Upon a Star plays and it's all magical. That was a moment for me. That was a moment. Just being out in front of the castle. Of course, the castle being so much bigger than it is here in Disneyland. So really taking in the scope of the castle. That was maybe the most powerful moment that wasn't on an attraction in the trip. That was the most powerful moment. Maybe besides entering Epcot for the first time. Because entering Epcot for the first time, I was legit teary-eyed. Like, legitimately, tears were running down my face. But this was a very deep-seated emotion for me. A very much like, oh, man, like, it's going to be a long time before I see this park again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for me, it was the Art of Animation exhibit in Hollywood Studios. I kind of had a moment like that, where it was in that exhibit, so they had the Toy Story 3 art there. Oh, it was something.
Did you see the Zoetrope?
I don't know if they ever had it there.
I don't think they don't have it there. Well, at least when I was there, they didn't have it.
Yeah. I did experience the Zoetrope at one point. Okay, moving on. Okay, guys, so these next couple days are going to go by pretty fast because we didn't really do any theme parks in these days.
All right. Mini golf.
Yeah, I
Yes,
went for Summerland. And Blizzard Beach.
Hold on. Okay, note to self: this is not the best way to distribute pictures on Facebook. I should have just done the way that we were doing it the last time, honestly.
Did you do one or both courses at Winter Summerland? Or are we not there yet? Okay. Okay.
Okay, so Blizzard Beach. Dragon, have you ever been to Blizzard Beach?
Nope.
Nope. Monkey?
Yes, like once, I think.
Okay.
Definitely done Winter Summerland a few times, but Blizzard Beach, yeah, like once or so.
I liked Blizzard Beach quite a lot. The only problem with Blizzard Beach is that it's exhausting. Because you have to climb up so many stairs to get to the slides. Of course, you have the chairlift. But the problem with the chairlift is that it only goes up to one section of slides. And ironically enough, it was the section with my least favorite slides in the park. So the really cool thing about Blizzard Beach, the really cool experience, was that I got to be the ski captain for the day, which meant I got to go down Summit Plummet first, and they made a big announcement about it over the intercom and everything. So this is a story. This is a freaking story. So basically, my grandma and I get there like an hour before the park opens. We're just hanging out, you know. Really, the park didn't fill up at all the whole day, but I was warned by people like Space Mountain over at WDW Magic to get there early anyways. Really, I didn't need to get there early, but I digress. Thanks for wasting that morning space. I'm sorry, I don't mean that, but
thanks for nothing.
Right. No, I mean in Space's defense, like if I hadn't gone there early, I wouldn't have gotten to be the ski captain. So you know. So a lady comes up to us and she's representing the park and she just asks us point blank, like, "Hey, are either of you two planning on going on Summit Plummet?" And I'm like, "Why, yes, I'm planning on going on Summit Plummet." And she's like, "Would you like to be the first person on Summit Plummet?" And I'm like, "Can't say no to that." And so basically what happened is we got to take a tour of the park before the park opened. So we got to go into the park about a half hour early, got to get the layout of the park. They gave us a free locker. They gave us free towels. They gave us, they even gave us a free like lounging spot that was shaded and everything like that. And a medal and like a medal that says ski captain on it. And if you wore the medal around the parks, then the cast members would greet you like, "Hey, what's up, ski captain?" So I did that for the ceremony, but then after the ceremony, I was like, "Okay, Grandma, you take the medal," because I'm an introvert. I hope none of these people actually recognize me. But yeah, going up to Summit Plummet was terrifying, though. That was terrifying, and I was like, "Oh God," you know. And then I was with a cast member, right? And he was like, at the top of Summit Plummet, of course, you have to go up more stairs once you catch the ski lift. You have to go up more stairs, and he's just pointing out like all the things that you can see from up here. Like, yeah, you know, you can see Avatar, you can see. The one thing you can't see is Typhoon Lagoon. And I'm like, all right, I get it. You can see everything because we're super high up. I get it. Oh God, I'm gonna fucking die.
The one thing you can't see is Universal.
Right. Summit Plummet is actually not that bad of a slide. You know what is a terrifying slide though? The slide that's next to it, which is Crush and Gusher. Crush and Gusher is terrifying because you get airtime on Crush and Gusher. I repeat, you get airtime on a body slide. Yeah, think about that for a second. Dragon, have you ever been down a body slide?
Well, I mean, for a water park, no, never.
No. Just imagine going down a really large slide at the fair or something and catching airtime. It's, no, I
Well, that's why they gave you the free stuff, because they knew
this guy has to be out of his mind. I would go down Summit Plummet 10 more times sooner than I go down Crush and Gusher once more, honestly. Because Summit Plummet, it's harrowing, yes, but it's just a straight drop, so it's not like you're getting any airtime or anything. Crush and Gusher, it's literally made that you fly off of that thing. I mean, it's... Oh, man. I can't even... Like, words can't even explain how scared I was when I got the airtime on it.
So it does what Summit Plummet theoretically does with the ski lift.
Yes, basically, Monkey. I'm glad you bring that up. Yeah, with the ski ramp.
Yeah, we make it look like someone flies off. No, that's next door.
right. Okay, so I love the lazy river in Blizzard Beach. I love how you go through the cave, and then there's the Monkey. Do you remember the cabin and the guy who's snoring and he has allergies, and then he
sneezes and a whole bunch of water
goes through the chimney?
Yeah, I remember that.
That was so charming.
Was it the ice skater's cabin?
It was the ski captain.
Oh.
And that's mythology wise, that's why they need the new ski captain for the day.
Oh.
Because he's out sick. Yeah. Pretty cool.
Saying ice skater, I may have just realized that ice skater may be a pun.
But yeah, I mean, you can see from these pictures just how hairy Summit Plummet is, though. I mean, it's a straight drop.
Isn't it like 200 feet or something?
It's like 120.
Do they have you sign a form of some kind?
No. But there was a cool announcement when I went down it, like over the intercom and everything, like, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Blizzard Beach. Now, please join us in welcoming the ski captain as he boldly attempts to go down our signature slide, Summit Plummet.
Free drinks at the
like
funeral.
A countdown, like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Fire, Mr. Smee!
God.
Try the snack bar at the funeral.
So yeah, that was really cool.
What if there was a water slide like this, but instead of like falling through a ski ramp, it's like you're falling into a grave?
Oh God.
I think that's the Charles Dickens ride.
I was thinking Baron von Heckelhopper, but okay.
I meant to walk through
Avalanche.
Pun. Even I'm not crazy about it.
I meant to walk through the park and get more pictures of the actual slides, but I just didn't have the energy to once I was done with the slides.
Right.
Let's see. In terms of the other slides, I really like the 2 tube slides they have, actually, but those are the ones that are the hardest to get to, even though they might have been my favorite rides. The racing slides were really fun. I did like the the Alpine racers where you're lying on your stomach and everything. That was really fun. I like the 2 slides that you duel next to each other and it goes down that really steep drop and goes through the tunnel and everything. Apologies for not knowing the actual names of these slides.
Mm-hmm.
The wave pool's a lot of fun too. I just remember chilling out by the waterfall. Not necessarily chilling out because the waterfall is where the high waves are, but basically I made it my challenge to get as close to the waterfall as I could. So that was fun. I don't know. Yeah, and that's honestly about it for Blizzard Beach. Here I'll scroll through a few more of the photos here. Avalanche.
Ah!
There's the wave pool. Oh yeah, that's a good picture right there.
There you go.
There you see.
I love it bothers to ruin the illusion of Summit Plummet.
What?
I love it gives away the illusion of Summit Plummet.
Yeah. Oh, there you see the racing slides and everything like that. One of the things that I wanted to do, but I couldn't because I was too big, was like all the obstacle courses.
Hmm.
You needed a kid to go through those. That was disappointing.
Right. Yeah, I remember that being kind of like child's area.
I hate the age discrimination at the...
It looks so fun, though, Monkey. You don't even know. It looks so fun.
Yeah, I kind of remember like the net and going across the ice.
Yeah, the ice blocks. That's what I really wanted to do, was the ice blocks.
But instead, you were blocked.
Yep. Okay, I thought this was adorable.
Oh my god, yes. Yes.
Isn't that the cutest thing?
Oh my goodness. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Button, as in she is cute as a button, which you also put on suit.
I just love how the mother is just like, oh, our daughter's so cute.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes. I love how proud the father. Look at the father, the little camera. Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh, this is delightful. All right.
Okay, this was my lunch. Not a very good lunch. Some mini donuts and and a frozen lemonade. The frozen lemonade was damn good though. The mini donuts.
Frozen stuff at Blizzard Beach? Wow.
What?
Frozen stuff at Blizzard Beach. Wow.
I just want to see Anna and Elsa go to a bunch of these theme parks just for the Frozen novelty of it all.
I was gonna say there is not a single reference to the actual Frozen attraction in Blizzard Beach, so.
So imagine like a sisterly day of fun with these two and like taking pictures and stuff. Be adorable, but anyway.
I'd kind of rather see Olaf go around a theme park because I think that has more possibilities.
Would be a perfect new mascot for Blizzard Beach, honestly.
Yeah, I mean.
Try the mini donuts!
Oh, God. Like, I'm genuinely surprised that they haven't made Olaf the mascot at Blizzard Beach by now. But at the same time, I respect that they keep so close to the park's original mythology.
Right.
Especially with the ski captain stuff and the world building that they clearly do. So yeah, the mini donuts, I've had better mini donuts at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom.
Well, I'm picturing like going into that cabin on the lazy river and like you go in there and it's Rangers Whoopi Goldberg and David Spade.
I think this was a good picture.
Yeah.
I think I have a better picture of that same. I like the icicles. Like I will say, Blizzard Beach as a whole was probably my favorite themed park. Because top to bottom, they really commit to the theming in that place. Like every corner of it.
Right.
Obviously, it's not the best park, obviously, but in terms of just walking around it and the aesthetics of it, I really loved it. What it kind of reminded me of, basically a whole park of Toon Lagoon aesthetic. Toon Lagoon from Islands of Adventure.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we got to Winter Summerland.
One course or both?
We did the winter course.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
Which I think that was probably the better choice because with the winter course, you kind of get the best of both. Oh, wait, no, hold on. What is the, no, yeah, I think we did the summer course, actually.
I think you had photos from both, so.
Well, hold on. What is this from?
I'm pretty sure that's winter.
Looks like summer.
Okay, what is this from?
Let's down
I
on
would
that's
think
goofy.
summer.
Yeah, we did summer then. We did summer.
Yeah, I think summer has more of a sand feel.
Yeah.
And it's
Which
like,
honestly, I feel like that was the way to go because summer, you kind of get the best of both worlds where you do get the holiday aesthetic to it, but you also get kind of the gimmick of Blizzard Beach, which is it's in a tropical setting. So I think out of the two, I chose the right one. Monkey, I'm not sure because I'm assuming you've done both of them.
Yeah, but more so winter.
Okay. Interesting.
I mean, both of them have that little pull hole gimmick, so. That's always neat.
This place.
I'm sorry, what did you say, Dragon?
Howard Hamlin would love this place.
Oh my god. Howard Hamlin would just love Disney World. There's some really primo golf courses.
Tell me, do they have tea there? Do they have iced tea there?
Okay, Dragon, there's a tea shop in Canada that sells nothing but tea.
Good. All right.
Monkey, I actually kind of feel like you can speak more to Winter Summerland than I can, considering you've been there more.
Yeah, I remember it was, fun, like me with my hey, no Christmas in November thing, like so I'm probably less likely to go there now, unfortunately. But yeah, it's a fun little place, I remember.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I imagine that Fantasia Gardens is probably the better golf course.
In some ways, I could say like it's more holiday neutral.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I absolutely love the final course with the computers and then the cheesy Santa greeting.
Yeah. I know on the winter course, like, did you get to see, like, there was that big present, you put it, like, under the present, and then a Mickey Jack in the Box head pops up?
I did not see that, actually, no.
I'm just imagining Hamlet golfing to save Christmas now.
Also, our ball actually got stuck in the either the North Pole or the South Pole or hole.
Now all we need here is add in some stuff from Kiss Save Santa.
Oh god.
And
I mean, honestly, the Santa in these little clip shows feels like the Santa from Kiss Save Santa.
God, what if it was Gilbert Gottfried's Santa from Billy and Mandy? Oh my god.
Oh, jeez.
You've played a great game of golf, faux show.
Faux show. All right. Okay, moving on. We went and did Yeehaw Bob later that day, and I don't want to bore you guys with the details of that, but yeah. Okay, moving on. This is day. Okay. This is day 6. Day 6. Yeah. Blizzard Beach was day 5. So day 6, we did pretty much nothing. So this is going to go by pretty fast.
Yeah. See.
Hold on. So how am I doing, you guys? Riff with me while I get to the proper picture.
Fire, Mr. Smee!
I feel he should have opted for a larger donut than the mini donut. I really do.
Well, I mean, do they have larger donuts? I mean, and even
is that really your main gripe?
Well, no, I'm just bringing up I always felt the cutie donut was kind of an insult.
Considering how the huge donut in Springfield went when you were here last.
Oh yeah, right.
I can picture you. I know we're not at that day. I can picture you walking by Lord Lad and Universal and being like, "Nope."
That's pretty much what happened, Monkey. Okay, so day 6, we decided to do Disney Springs first. We took the boat over there. As you guys know, we have a boat connected to our resort to Disney Springs, which was nice.
Mm-hmm.
I love
one of 2 Rainforest Cafes.
Yeah, I love Rainforest Cafe exteriors. I just really don't like the food. My grandma made me take this picture. Guy Fieri is actually, as you can see in this caption I have, he's I vividly remember Guy Fieri shilling his garlic fries at my local parade before he got famous.
Look at him now.
Look at him now. Look at him go. I really don't like Guy Fieri. I just want to put it out there. Fuck you, Guy Fieri.
Well, that's a little harsh. You're saying he seems a little pompous, but it's...
Oh, fuck you, Guy Fieri. I'm calling you out right now. Come get me, bro.
I'm glad you promoted one of my favorite restaurants on television, so I'm grateful for that, but I can't speak otherwise.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to get into our lunch, which was one of the best lunches that I've had at the trip. So we went over to the Swan Hotel. Monkey, have you ever been in the Swan? It's in close proximity.
I mean, I've been around the Swan, so I've seen the exterior a lot. I walked through the Dolphin once.
Okay.
So, but yeah, 2 hotels. Like, yeah. So exterior wise, I definitely remember them.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm guessing the dolphin statues confused you a bit.
No, I was expecting them.
Oh, okay, yeah. But yeah, so 2 hotels not owned by Disney.
Yeah. But this is where we went for lunch because we figured that a non-Disney resort would have pretty good food and not a lot of waits, and we were right. So we ended up at the Garden Grill. This place is freaking spectacular, honestly.
Isn't Garden Grill also the name of an Epcot restaurant?
It could be.
I'm gonna check. Go on. So, since you were in the area, did you catch any glimpses of the boardwalk?
No, actually, that's one of the things. I'll get to that, Monkey. That's in my regrets category. But I do like the inside-outside look of this place. Monkey, now it's bothering me. What is that food court in Epcot?
The Garden Grill.
Well, then this must not be the Garden Grill.
I mean, it still could be. I can check on there as well.
Yeah, can you please just clarify what the name of this
which is the
restaurant
Swan? Let's find. Wait, was this Garden Grove?
Grove, that's what it is. Whenever I think
which
of
is also a. Oh, deja vu. I mean,
Now the mystery is solved.
I think of
Garden Grove, which is a city not far from Disney.
Well, I was
from
gonna
Disneyland.
Say, I think of the Grove. I think of or Garden. What is it? Garden Walk.
Right, Garden Walk, Anaheim Garden Walk.
Yeah, I think of that.
There is a place also not terribly far from Garden Walk, a performance venue called the Grove.
But more importantly, I think of the Sublime song Garden Grove.
Yeah.
But
Rent played the Grove in the last.
Getting a little sidetracked on the Grove here.
All right, I'm sorry, Dragon.
I'm sorry, but you've thrown off the Emperor's Grove.
This was the iceberg lettuce salad with chicken, as you can see. I mean, pretty self-explanatory, right?
I'm guessing it wasn't as good as House of Blues.
No, this was amazing, actually.
Okay, so it was worse.
I want to say this was my... Actually, I would say this was my second best meal next to Toothsomes. We'll get to Toothsomes. No, this was actually really, really good. This is one of the first times I've ordered a salad as a main meal for lunch. And I'm so glad I did. It was so fresh. All the ingredients, the chicken was to die for. The chicken blended in really good with the salad and the lettuce. The cheese was so good. Oh my God. Oh, this was a good meal. It makes me hungry just looking at it. So then afterwards, we decided to walk across the street to go to Fantasia Gardens, and all hell broke loose.
Say what?
Basically, what happened is that Fantasia Gardens had an hour-long wait for each of its courses. Have you ever seen anything like that, Monkey?
I don't know if I have. And I've always gone there in the evening, so after sundown. So I don't know if that makes any difference, but I don't know if I've had anything quite like that.
And I had a legit panic attack over that. And this is where I should have gone to the boardwalk, Monkey. This is where we should have taken the day, gone to the boardwalk, and just, called a spade, called a loss. But instead, I decided to get all uppity and feel all sorry for myself. And
I hear you. I understand you.
Yeah.
If it makes it feel any better, only one of the Fantasia courses is regular mini golf.
That's what I heard, and I actually think that the non-themed one had a 40-minute wait, which still wouldn't have been worth it. And here's the thing with those wait times too. Even with those wait times, you would still have to wait for people to finish every single hole once we were actually on the hole.
Indeed.
You know what I mean? So it's
yeah.
No, thank you. But then we went to see Yeehaw Bob for the last time.
The epic goodbye.
Oh wait, hold on. One more thing before Yeehaw Bob.
Ooh.
We went back to Disney Springs to go to the Indiana Jones bar.
Dengar. Or Hanger.
There's a snake in the back of the plane, Jock. I still just find it so amusing that they took a moment like that and themed a whole bar around it. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, Jock is not in any other scenes in Indiana Jones, just that one little moment, right?
You got it.
Yeah.
Well, that and he's fishing, but yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, sure, he's fishing, yeah. God.
It was killing time fishing. Well, you gotta wait for Indy to kind of wrap up. Get some fish and get some lunch for later on.
Now, what if they had an animatronic Jock as you exited the Temple of the Forbidden Eye and he's fishing in the Jungle Cruise River?
Oh my monkey, I would love that.
Hey, Indy, I caught some fish. Jock, just start the plane. We don't have time for fish. Jock, what are you doing? I'm feeding my snake. Snake, you gotta get in that thing, but you gotta.
Oh God, that would be wonderful. Okay, so we unfortunately did not get to see inside, but they have this boat that's attached to the bar that you can sit in. So that's where my grandma and I are in here.
Like an actual functioning boat?
I doubt it. It's part of the theming.
They should have made it like a plane, like kind of one, very much like Jock's plane, but just elongated, and like perched on the water somehow.
I mean, yes, but that would have been harder to get actual tables into it.
Oh yeah, you're right.
All right. Okay, check these out. See those classic cars?
Oh yeah.
They're actually boats.
Get out.
No, I'm not kidding you. My grandma made me take a picture of this.
You mean the green one is a boat?
Yeah, that's a boat that you can rent.
You mean kind of like that boat in Crystal Skull car, that car boat?
Kind of, yes. It literally looks like it's just a bunch of cars that just careened into the river and are just floating around. It's the most surreal looking.
It looks like Al's car from Toy Story 2, but now is a boat car.
I can't believe I have to sail all the way to work on a Saturday.
And the boathouse was
skipper's hat and everything.
The boathouse was one of those things that just straight up I really wanted to do. I really wanted to get a reservation for. I actually did get a reservation for it, but I got it for $9.55 at night. And that was just too late for my grandma and I to commit to, so we ended up canceling that pretty quickly. But I really wanted to get into the boathouse. Very popular place. Like even 60 days out, I could only get a reservation that far along.
Mm-hmm.
This is just some of the theming inside Jock's Hangar Bar. Monkey, do you know about this? It's like this little Nautilus capsule that you can drink in the Hangar Bar.
I don't think I even really knew this bar existed until you started sharing stuff about it.
Evan was pretty excited about it in the group chat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I digress. Yeah,
that's probably more of his forte. So
yeah, you're right.
It's a nice napkin.
I think that's the menu, actually.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
Can it be both?
No.
Yeah, you're right. That's a nice little design there. I can imagine this would be a napkin or something. It looks nice. Well, yeah, some coasters around it, so yeah, it must be like kind of like a little brand.
And I saved some of those coasters, by the way. I brought some of those coasters.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
I actually gave a couple to a coworker as like a little gift.
Oh.
All right.
So my grandma had a classic martini. I had a limeade, like a spiked limeade. Good stuff.
Kind of prickly.
Okay.
So
okay, guys. We got 2 more days to go, but they're both big days. It's the last day at Epcot, and then of course the big one that Dragon's looking forward to.
Oh, yeah.
Universal Studios. So let me just flip to the start there. Let me just flip to ET.
Fire Mr. Smee!
God. Okay, you know what? I apologize in advance because this was the wrong way to go with these pictures. Okay, wait. That was it. No, back.
Mystery image. No, what? No, that's not the mystery image. I'm thinking of something else.
Okay. So, guys, I'm going to talk about E.T. Adventure.
Oh.
After
Did you see the Pantages Theater as you on the way?
What?
Did you see the Pantages Theater on your way?
No, I did not notice that.
Yeah, one of their shows is like the facade looks like the Pantages Theater.
All right. But guys, I got to tend to something really quick. It'll take me like 3 minutes. So do you mind doing like a little running commentary thing?
Okay.
All right.
Now, the question is, what does the E in ET not stand for? We know it stands for extra, but there are so many things it cannot stand for. Like what? Like, I'm guessing it doesn't stand for Elliot, even though that would be super symbolic. I don't think it stands for elephant because ET does not have a trunk. It doesn't stand for electrocution. I mean, they tried that on ET to help bring him back to life, but that didn't work.
It doesn't stand for elevator.
No. Because you have a bike for that. It doesn't stand for El Macho because he would be in the Despicable Me area of the park, and even then, they don't have him there.
Maybe it stands for the thing was I'm trying to think of that place in New Mexico. Like, is it Elmagoro or Almagoro, New Mexico?
I would not know, but I do know that it wouldn't stand for Elmer Fudd.
Oh. And we could build up Universal a little while we have this time. So, oh my God, finally!
Universal, the Florida resort I actually went to a few years back.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, here's a memory I'll let me expand upon Universal. It's kind of, I don't think Dave's really going to touch on this all that much. I might as well kind of touch on it now. City Walk. City Walk is kind of this great bridge that kind of eventually gets you, the big deciding point here, where it's either Islands of Adventure or Universal. It's always kind of that great, it's like the fork in the road option, if you will. And City Walk is like the path to the big fork in the road. But going on City Walk, though, there's one moment that's very pivotal in my relation to the MCU that is always going to be stemming from City Walk, and I had like the best experience ever at the movie theater that is on City Walk, and it was a great little theater. And I went in there and I saw Iron Man for the first time there, and it was in May, and so again May 2008. They had the advertising like a little standee for the Incredible Hulk outside somewhere, and I was like, it's an exquisite place. I saw 2 movies because again I had such a good experience with Iron Man when I saw it. My grandfather was there, and he never watched this. He's not interested in the superhero movies, but he was just, we were all on vacation. He was kind of there to tag along, so it was a really nice experience. And I've always imprinted the third act from Iron Man, the Obadiah Stane, Ironmonger chase. And Pepper Potts and Coulson, they go in there, then it's revealed that Ironmonger's in the suit, and he chases everyone out. And that moment when the camera's pulling back and Pepper Potts is kind of running away, and the way that is filmed, it feels so much, because at that time they had the ride there, it felt so much like one of my favorite rides that it's always in flux in Universal. It felt like Jimmy Neutron's Nicktoon Blast, where it's kind of that sort of, it felt so much like a theme park experience where, oh my God, it's like Pulcher emerges and then you're running away from, it's like the big kind of center point of the attraction, the big ominous threat of the attraction you're running away from. I always felt like that moment with Obadiah Stane. So I was just tuned into like the perfect experience with Iron Man and just kind of with kind of Orlando all at the same time. It's such a wonderful experience. I've always been indebted to City Walk for having such a great kind of first time Marvel experience with Iron Man.
And now they have mini golf.
Yes.
Also, fuck the security at City Walk.
Souring my glowing review of City Walk, but okay.
Okay, throughout my first 5 days at Disney, 6 days, I had nothing but glowing experiences with the cast members. Nothing but awesome experiences with the cast members. Literally, the first cast member I interact with at City Walk is this, pardon my French, this bitch of a woman who is like literally yelling at me for putting my phone in the wrong bin. She's like, "Sir, are you with her, sir?" Pointing to my grandma. "Are you with her, sir?" I'm like, "Yeah, I am." "Well, then you should put your phone in her case, sir. Your phone is in the wrong bin, sir." I'm like,
Weird.
Christ.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, so this was City Walk?
Yes.
Yeah. I never really had to deal with City Walk security, so I can't vouch, but
I was like, this is just a terrible... I wanted to stop the line and say something. I wanted to stop the line and say, excuse me, this is not how you treat people. I mean, like, I work in customer service myself, and I could never imagine treating a customer like that. You know what I mean? It was insane. But, okay, so I had a terrifying experience at ET. I want you guys to picture... I'm walking through the park. I'm just like, ET, you got to do it. ET, got to do it.
Right. So we're on day 7, right?
right.
What?
What day are we on?
Day 7.
Okay. Keep
Yeah,
going.
I think I remembered this tale.
And then I walk up to ET.
Yeah.
The wait time says 0 minutes. And there's a cast member standing out front.
Yes.
My heart sinks.
Why?
Because I assume it's closed.
Okay.
Dragon, can you imagine that? Can you imagine the disappointment if this thing actually ended up being closed?
Basically, it'd be like National Lampoon's Vacation. You go to Wally World, and then they have Harold Ramis as a moose telling you, "Whoops, sorry, folks, park's closed."
Popeye and Bluto's Bill Trap Bad Barges was closed, and that was a disappointment, but not nearly as bad as if ET was closed.
We're closed for 2 weeks.
Oh God! Oh,
let's give it.
Just run it once. Just run it once for me, please.
Okay,
I don't want construction workers in there.
For a moment, for posterity's sake, let's remind the folks at home that Tiki, he's only heard the wonderful tales about ET. He's never experienced it himself, and ET is starting to die off in other places. So right now, the one in Florida is very...
I had the chance to go on ET when I was a little kid, but I went on the studio tour at Hollywood first, and King Kong scared the crap out of me to the point where I didn't want to do anything that was inside in that park.
So Tiki's going on a maiden voyage to ET, and that's what he's like. He's bursting through the gates to go to. So that's the big journey for Universal for the boy ET.
Okay, so Dragon, I remember you hyping up the whole. First of all, I love the posters just out front, like experience the adventure, experience the events, experience the wonder.
Oh yeah,
fond memories of that ride.
And Dragon, you were hyping up like Tiki the moment that those doors close in the pre-show. And yep, as soon as the doors close, the music comes on, Spielberg comes on. I'm like, this is perfect. But you know what I wasn't expecting? I was expecting Spielberg. I was not expecting the second half of that queue in the woods.
Really? You didn't know about that part of the queue?
Expecting that.
Well,
So
that must have been quite a surprise.
We got through the names pretty quickly. Like I said, I was kind of tempted to log my name as Tiki, but I didn't want to hold up the line in case he didn't know exactly what I said. I didn't want to like spill it out or anything.
Yeah.
So, then we get on the ride. Of course, the ride system in this was even a surprise to me. I didn't know exactly how it was going to work.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah. And I did not know it was going to be like rows of bikes. I assumed it was going to be like 2-seater bikes. I did not know it was going to be like each person had an individual bike. That was
like a platform of 12 bikes.
Yeah, that was a surprise, and it's nice because it makes it feel like the movie where it's like an entourage of bikes.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, it is cool that this is like an elaborate Peter Pan.
This is very much an elaborate Peter Pan. The city, the flyover of the city in this kicks Peter Pan's ass, I think.
Yeah.
And the second half of this is bizarre.
Oh yeah.
Just really, really bizarre. And I'm not sure how I feel about it, honestly.
But again,
welcome home. You've arrived.
See, while it's bizarre and while it while it's definitely not the sequel you'd want to see with the at the very least, again, take it all. It's that cue that's kind of it's the cushion. That's the comfort of whatever happens. It's that queue sucked you in so much. Again, you stepped into this otherworldly, just the lights, the atmosphere, Spielberg on there. You stepped in with the goal of Universal is to put you in a movie, and that's where you are.
Absolutely.
You're in this adventure, and again, ET's there, and you're sucked in, and you've stepped into another world.
And like little to no screens even.
Mm-hmm. No screens except for the pre-show.
It's the most earnest ride. It's one of the most earnest rides in Universal. Now you have a sense of duty and urgency, and whether even in that second, if it doesn't make all the sense in the world, it's like you're there and you're locked into it. Like, yeah, we got to help ET, man. Even this is ridiculous BS I'm saying, but we got to help.
Exactly.
I don't care if it makes sense. We're gonna help this little guy.
It's vintage Universal, and it's the type of ride that should never be replaced.
Yeah, I think Spielberg has said, like, if you take that out, I am done with you.
Good. By the way, not to date this podcast or anything, but guys, the hype around Ready Player One is real.
You know what's funny? They still haven't fixed the poster on that because the poster has a glaring error on it.
Does it really?
His leg is like the size of two legs.
Mm.
It's very glaring. It's like a giant Extendo Inspector Gadget leg.
All right, anything else about E.T. before we move on to the other extraterrestrials in the
park? I can tell you though, when I was a kid, it blew my mind when I guess I was like the only kid on the ride, on like the little grouping of bikes the first time I rode it. So when I said my name, I was like, yeah, because the whole family was there. It was like, oh my god, it was like kind of it freaked me out.
Goodbye, BlueDragonFive.
Exactly. So it's just again, it's like, oh my god, that I didn't know what the payoff was going to be for that whole like little boarding pass thing. Again, Spielberg made it sound like the most important thing in the world. Like, okay, I gotta get a boarding pass. At the end, it's like, oh my god, he thanked me. That's amazing.
I don't think I ever heard him say my name.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad I got to do the ride at all, but still.
Of course.
So you said there were other extraterrestrial beings in your...
Yes, which I don't have pictures of, unfortunately, so we're going to have to stick on the ET image, but...
Yeah, so you got through Springfield to get there. Did you also pass by the Simpsons ride and think, nope?
I was tempted to do it, Monkey, because it was only a 10-minute wait. I really was tempted to do it. I was like, okay, maybe we'll circle back around to it later, but we just never got back around to it.
I tell you, it's just out of just... It sounds so pitiful and sad, but I go on that ride just so I know beneath this paint Back to the Future still exists. It's the same ride. I gotta go on it.
Pretty much.
It's so abusive. But
I do think Springfield is a little better in Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's a little more immersive.
Indeed, especially inside the restaurants.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The sad thing is the gift shop, the main gift shop in the front of the Universal Park, I guess, it still has all the merchandise from all the previous franchises. You can get the Back to the Future cars, at least by 2012 when the ride was going. You could still get the Back to the Future cars and stuff, and it's just
probably Jaws plusies.
Yeah, a lot of Jaws. There were still a lot of Jaws regardless. So I don't know if Back to the Future's still there.
They still sell a ton of ET merchandise in Hollywood, even though that ride's not there.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what you think.
Let me ask you this, Tiki. Did you do Shrek?
No, I didn't do. I should have done Shrek. I really should have.
Real quick, once they have like the whole meet and greet with Shrek and Donkey's like an anime. It's kind of an interactive thing with Donkey.
I've seen that in Hollywood.
He made fun of my father, and it was hysterical, and we still joke about it. It was like the time we went there. Like the last time I went was just with me and my father solo, and we had a good time, and we still laugh to this day with all the fun stuff he said. He said about him, like, it's a fun little reminiscence. It's like, remember when Donkey called you that? Okay,
nice. Okay, so yeah, we get to Men in Black. Men in Black was one of those things I just was not expecting much out of.
But
and lo and behold, Men in Black turned out to be the favorite thing at Universal the whole day.
Wow, that's fun.
I was hoping you were gonna like it. I didn't know you were gonna love it, but I do because I knew ET was gonna definitely.
If only it didn't have lockers.
Yeah, I agree. If it didn't have lockers, it'd be a perfect attraction in my mind.
Yeah.
Tiki, I gotta
The
know
lockers,
one thing.
Really, seriously, like I still can't get over how you don't need a locker for Spider-Man, but you need one for Men in Black.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
Or
I think you
rather,
told.
or more fittingly, you no lockers for Cat in the Hat.
Thank God, no lockers for Cat in the Hat.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
because
sure you
that's the
told.
same ride system.
I think you told me this, Tiki. But I gotta know. On Men in Black, did you push the red button?
No, I actually didn't.
Oh, you know what happens when you push the red button, don't you?
What happens?
You get
It's-
more points.
Yes, you get a huge bonus in points, and it's like the big
You
like
know what I was
you're
expecting? I was expecting the red button to come up at the finale. Like I was expecting Will Smith to be like, "All right, fuck it, now we got to push the red button."
well. That's what he does. That's what happens in the
you
ride.
hear Agent Zed, like, I understand if you missed it, but, like, as you approach that scene, like, you hear Agent Zed say, well, no choice. Push the red button.
And that's how you get that. That's how you defeat the giant alien at the end, because you've pushed like some people have pushed. It's implied that you're supposed to push red. Or at least one person you've known pushes like, "Hey, someone pushed the red button, save the day."
Right.
And it's great.
Kind of like the mission space controls, where it's like it'll just override for you if you don't do it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying though. I just remember I had I don't like that's the first time I ever went on. I don't think I picked up on the red button. Then one year I picked up on the red button. And it was like this great moment of just. It's like you notice it. You're like, wait, did I just hear what I thought I heard? And you look down. And it says the buttons like flash like push me and out, push me. And I was like pushing it.
I
Like,
think
you know-
the trick is to press it on the word push.
Mm.
Like, that's the opportune moment.
Like such a great action movie moment of like now push the button now. Rarely in life do you have those moments.
I'm glad you say action movie, Dragon, because that's exactly what Men in Black the ride feels like. It feels like you are a part of an action movie. Like, to me, this ride was almost the definitive sucking you into a movie.
And again, it does.
Took me by surprise so much.
Like, did you know about the pre-show at all,
Not a
or the
clue.
World's Fair
Not a
theming?
clue. Not even a slight clue.
Mm.
So yeah, we go into the pre-show and there's like all this World's Fair stuff all around.
Yeah, good thing you did the standby queue, because, you know, singles or whatever bypass.
Oh,
You
thank
don't
God.
even see
Thank God.
like, those queues don't even show the aliens having coffee.
Yeah, I'm so glad we did standby then, because
Yes.
honestly, that queue made the ride for me. I just love the idea of like, now we're gonna go on a 3-hour walking tour through this great hall of chemistry or whatever it is, and then
Yeah, the universe and you.
yeah, the universe and you, and then the cast members are so into it. That's what really got me. The cast members are like, all right, let's go, no time to lose. Come on, agents, come on.
Yeah.
And then
I'm like,
elevator.
oh, my God. Oh, yes. Like my interest level in this attraction instantly went from all right, this should be fun to okay, this is what we're doing.
I love how you start off with the shooting, like exactly what Jay did in the first Men in Black, where you're starting with the exact same mock-up of the
Yeah.
of target practice, and then of course it elevates to the okay, folks, now you're going into the real world.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, hold your horses though, because everything about this, the elevator was really cool. Monkey, you make a point that's really accurate, that the the elevator in Escape from Gringotts is legitimately like less
Not as convincing.
yeah, it's not as convincing as the one in Men in Black, which is
Men in
hilarious.
Black is so much like, it's just some lights and the floor vibrates.
Uh-huh. And then I love the scale of it too. I love when you go in and like you see like the screens and everything, and you see the break rooms, you see the floor, and you see like below you and above you. It's so impressive.
And there's like that Goofus and Gallant thing for the here's what to do and what not to do.
All right.
And then and it's even a dueling ride.
Yeah, right? No.
And then
this
ooh,
is
twist about the other car.
I mean, let's talk about those Buzz Lightyear comparisons, because to me, as I said, there's no contest. This just it curb stomps Buzz Lightyear.
Okay, let's be gentle here.
No, it legitimately Ed Norton in American History X curb stomps Buzz Lightyear. That's what I want you to picture when I say it curb stomps Buzz Lightyear. All right. Maybe I got a little bit too graphic there.
Well, again, it's Men in Black has kind of the bases loaded in that it's going for the shooting gallery premise from
Men
the
in
movie.
Black is more full-fledged animatronics.
Men in Black has the full-fledged animatronics. It's got full-fledged set pieces. It's legitimately thrilling with the spinning. It's got a better pre-show. It's got a better story to it. I mean, Men in Black is just... And Men in Black isn't even a proper e-ticket for Universal. It feels like an e-ticket, but I would say it's not really an e-ticket.
How come?
Oh, I don't know. Just because it doesn't have like the thrill factor of something like the Potter rides or something like that.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I'm hearing you.
I'm just saying, like, by standards, I would think it'd be a D ticket if we're going by ticket grading systems.
Right.
I
Like,
feel in its heyday, it might have been a main attraction, but now it's just kind of,
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, for me, it was the main attraction. It was the thing that really just like, and then of course, I love at the very end, I went gaga over it, where it's like, are we alone? Of course we are.
They erase your memory.
I was like,
and I love that that's the photo at the end of the ride, the neuralizer is the picture.
Yep. I was just
That's
like,
the
this
picture?
is perfect. This, from beginning to end, top to bottom, this is a perfect attraction.
And like some sort of spoof of a Sherman Brothers type song.
Right.
And again, it's just what's so the E.T. and Men in Black do is something very similar, where they both kind of capture what the mission statement of Universal should be, putting you into a movie, into a heightened experience.
I feel like Men in Black does that even better than E.T. does.
E.T. is like kind of the divide between the audience. Men in Black is you're sucked into, you think you're going on a ride, but actually you're going into the movie, versus E.T. where it's like, okay, it's kind of saying something about kind of like like you watch like you're watching a movie at home and then you're just kind of sucked into it literally, versus just being in another world entirely. Yeah.
So yeah, Men in Black, I can't say enough good things about Men in Black. It exceeded every expectation I had for it. Like, I walked in expecting to be like, all right, this is going to be something I'm going to forget about in like an hour. But no.
Evidently not.
Yeah.
It's just that oh my god turn when you just had the giant alien at the end. That's the moment for me whenever I think about that ride. Is that whole like, it's like, oh, like the ride turns you around, then you just like face to face with. Again, you're in Jay's shoes at the end of the first Men in Black. Like, oh my god, what am I looking at?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So after Men in Black, we went to we were going to go to Diagon Alley. We went to get we got some hot dogs, and they were okay. I mean, we can't complain because we didn't have to wait in line, and it was high noon. So that's the most important thing at lunch, right? But then we went and saw... Hold on. Sorry. This thing! It's you, Dragon! Now, Dragon, I want you to picture this dragon, like, spouting Captain America trivia.
Alright, come on. Let's...
Alright.
So, Diagon Alley, what did you think?
It sucks. I'm not just being sarcastic. The crowd control in this is a nightmare. It really sucks. I mean, theming-wise, it's great.
Yeah, like, theming-wise, I like it a bit more than Hogsmeade, but I can hear you about crowd control.
I couldn't enjoy myself.
Yeah.
It was impossible for me to enjoy myself in there. I mean, it really was. Like, we went into Weasley's Wizard Wheezes and then had to go out like 10 seconds later because the crowds were just so bad. It was... I mean, don't get me wrong. It's immersive. Yeah, when you're in it, it is immersive. But, like, I couldn't even care to find Nocturne Alley. I really wanted to see Nocturne Alley, but I was like, no, I need to get out of here.
I do like how the dragon breathes fire, though. I do like that. It was like on a loop. It like breathes fire.
I didn't even stick around not long enough to see the dragon breathe fire. That's how little I was in this area, and I didn't even care. I have no regrets about it. It's so claustrophobic. You guys don't know. You guys, I mean, Monkey, you know, obviously, but Dragon, you don't know.
I don't remember as well, I guess.
Well, here's the thing. I don't remember if I might have been there before because I know the main Harry Potter ride in Islands of Adventure was up when I was there. I don't know if Diagon Alley was up at the same time or like
Diagon opened in 2014.
Yeah, that was before. So I was there before. I was either there before Diagon or like at the place where they're starting to slowly build Diagon. So it was.
I'm guessing you were at the place where they were starting to build it because I remember you being pissed about Jaws being closed.
Yeah, I remember. Here's the thing: I remember a train, which implies that Diagon Alley might. But then, do they have the train in the Islands of Adventure section?
Yes.
Okay, well, never mind then. I wasn't there at all for Diagon.
Okay.
So Escape from Gringotts?
We have to talk Escape from Gringotts, I guess.
Yeah, which queue did you do?
Standby.
Okay, so you got the full experience.
Got the full experience, yeah. It was surprisingly quick. It took us about, I want to say, like a half hour to get through Standby.
How did you like that there was an on-queue photo?
Yeah, that was bizarre. Yeah, it was weird.
But
it
yeah,
was.
I mean,
What
yeah, that room with all the goblins, damn.
Oh yeah, and just the interior design and the architecture, Monkey. I'm sure you could appreciate that.
Yeah.
The architecture inside that, and I'll call it a bank. It's not a show building. It's straight up a bank. It feels like a bank. It doesn't feel like a theme park thing at all.
Yeah, that is probably like one of the best queues I've experienced.
I would say, yeah, I mean, outside of the random photo that you have to take, which probably slows down everything.
I mean, I wouldn't mind that as much if it came into play later.
Right.
But no, it doesn't.
It came into play like E.T. style.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah. So the other ride that had Donald Gleason in it.
What other ride has Donald Gleason?
Star Tours?
Oh, right. Yeah, Donald Gleason, man. That was fun because I was like, but honestly, when I see Donald Gleason, I think of his character from Ex Machina before anything else. So I'm like, oh, it's the guy who got like subdued by the robot lady.
Yeah, so then you got to go into an elevator where the floor bounces, but the walls don't move.
Yeah. Not great. Escape from Gringotts, the ride, it exceeded my expectations, but my expectations were very low, so it was good.
So how did it exceed? I'm curious.
It exceeded in that it was a little bit more immersive than I thought it would be.
Yeah, like physical sets?
Physical sets, yeah, there were a few physical sets. The sets and the screens blended together pretty nicely.
Yeah, like that moment with the track. Oh. What did you think of the 3D?
The 3D was good. There was one moment in particular where you see Voldemort and you start to back away from Voldemort that was really thrilling.
Yeah. It's funny. Like, I remember, like, not caring for the 3D, really. I remember finding it, like, the weakest 3D in the resort.
Really? I didn't think that at all.
Yeah, maybe I had better seats or something. But where did you sit in it?
I can't even remember.
Fair enough. Like, maybe it's better in the back rows, but...
Could be.
I mean, I remember that bit where the goblin runs by is good 3D. Like, otherwise, it was, like, kind of flattish and blurry-ish.
Like I said, I remember all the Voldemort stuff was really cool.
Yeah. And it is pretty awesome that, he's in a ride.
Voldemort has a real presence in that ride, too. Like, when you see him, there's a sense of dread there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, shit.
Yeah. And then fake Harry and Hermione.
Right.
I mean, Harry's impersonator is good. Hermione's not as close.
All right, so after that...
They set off defenses against us.
God. All right, after that, we went to King's Cross and went ahead and got on the Hogwarts Express.
I mean, yeah, when you're waiting in that spot below, like, with all the suitcases and whatnot, I remember thinking, like, is this still a theme park?
Right. No, the loading and everything, it feels legitimately like a terminal.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, platform 9 3/4. That's a really fun effect.
And Hedwig's there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the
And,
train.
do you remember what the little girl said when I was writing it?
It's fake?
She said, and I quote, "That is so fake."
Yeah. So I remember like that was the one kind of downside with the Hogwarts Express is that like, oh man, this is real cool and immersive and whatnot. Watch the stuff in the windows like, I'm watching a video game.
Okay, having said that, the Dementor is kind of terrifying, though.
Why do I remember the Dementor being the other way, like from Hogsmeade to... I could be wrong.
I don't know. No, I got it. I got the Dementor on the way to Islands of Adventure, so...
Okay, so I'm probably mistaken.
Or they just have the Dementor going both ways. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's a one-way thing, so...
But the Dementor was scary, though, because I've always had kind of a personal fear of Dementors reading the books as a kid. That hit me really hard when I was reading the books.
Yeah.
So Dementors have always kind of got into me a little bit. Monkey, I feel kind of the same way about the Dementors in Forbidden Journey. You know, I'm like, get the fuck away from me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say they're even worse in Hollywood, but yeah, and don't the seats vibrate as well when the Dementor shows up and gets Patronus away?
I don't remember the seats vibrating. Maybe when the Patronus happened, maybe.
Yeah. Like, oh dear, those Dementors are on the train. Anyway, would you like something from the trolley?
By the way, they totally should have had a trolley like out front in the queue or something. I don't know.
Yeah. That would.
Like,
yeah, I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer.
Spot where you can buy like every flavor of beans and chocolate toads and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember it's funny you told us about the little kid on your train, and I was flashing back to an obnoxious child on my train, like, that's Bad Eye!
I had some really, really bad kid experiences on the bus systems at Disney World. I'll say that much.
Yeah. At least that's the bus. That's not quite an intimate attraction.
Sure, but at the same time, you're stuck there for a long period of time, so it's like it's
indeed.
The worst experience, there was this one kid who was just overly excited about Star Tours, and I kind of felt bad for him because he was just like going off on his dad, and his dad just felt so bored. Like, and then Kylo Ren, and right, and Kylo Ren did this, and Rey did this, right, Rey did this. Like, he always had to like affirm it like one or two times with his dad to make sure his dad like was following along. I was like, oh my God, kid, shut up. Like, look, you're probably going to grow up to be a good podcaster one day, but for the time being, shut up. The worst of it, though, was I remember this terror of a little girl waiting at Epcot for the bus to Port Orleans Riverside. Every bus that would come by that wasn't the bus to Riverside, this little girl, this little SOB would just be like, why aren't you Riverside? Why aren't you Riverside?
You know, I like to rant about children as much as the next guy, but perhaps we should get back on point.
Yeah.
Okay. So taking the bus, we end up in Seuss Landing because we walk right past the Lost Continent because fuck that shit.
Yeah, I mean, I like Poseidon's theory, but knowing your feet, I understand why you wouldn't have done it.
Also, we came right at the wrong moment because it was 45 minutes until the next show.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So you went to Islands of Adventure, started on Seuss Landing.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, that is pretty cool, like going directly from one park to another.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it really unifies them.
Mm-hmm. And Islands of Adventure is kind of like a bucket list park for me. Like, this was the real reason I wanted to go to Universal outside of ET was this.
Can't blame you. Islands is pretty cool.
Uh-huh. Islands is a great park. The one problem I have with Islands is that there's no place to sit down and relax.
That too, yeah.
That really bothered me.
I have a vivid memory of standing by McElligot's pool feeling hot. I don't remember why we had to stand around for something, but yeah.
So the first thing we did in Islands of Adventure was the people movers.
All right.
And I don't care if they're called Sylvester McMonkey McBean's Amazing Flying Machines or whatever.
High in the Sky Sue's trolley train ride.
Yeah, it's the people movers.
Yeah. With lap bars.
I love the architecture in Seuss Landing, of course. I think it's a step above Toontown, I think.
Yeah, I remember like Seuss Landing is what helped convince J.K. Rowling to let Universal do Potter.
I could see that.
Yeah. And yeah, Seuss Landing, that is a lovely place, a lovely landing.
Sorry, guys, I lost my place. All right, let's talk about how ridiculous the Cat in the Hat security measures are.
Oh yeah, like that's like the one ride at Universal that has signs saying you're on camera, and if you misbehave or whatever, we'll kick you out of the park.
Yeah, Dragon, how do you feel about that?
Well, that implies to me that a lot of illicit stuff's been going on in Cat in the Hat. I'm saying that I remember there were a lot of rules, and I my memory of it, because again it's been years. My memory of it was that maybe they're kind of playing that up because it's all like the don't do this, don't do that, the Cat in the Hat. But I mean at the same time though,
no, it's not like that at all. They're not playing up shit.
I know. It was now you mention it like that, like oh man, it wasn't like that at all. It's like there was extra security measures, which implies that man, that's again from Scott Snyder himself. Scott Snyder, who worked in again this isn't pertaining to Universal, but the fun fact is that Scott Snyder, one of the best Batman writers ever, my favorite. He worked at Orlando for years. He worked at Magic Kingdom for a year or so, and he was a janitor there, and he observed like all the rules and kind of the cast member stuff that went on down there. And he was actually he actually wore the Buzz Lightyear costume for a year. But beyond that, the reason I bring this up is that he mentioned like all the horror stories that you'd have in Disney, and basically all the horrific stuff that'd be waiting for you in the bathrooms. But also people would get caught getting a little naughty, and they'd be dragged out in shame. So that implies, so basically with that logic, those horror stories, I would imagine that something like that would be a regular occurrence in Seuss Landing. So now they have to put that sign up for Cat in the Hat, which means that ride must be popular.
But Dragon, it wasn't misbehaving though. It was just we'll kick you out if you record the ride.
Oh yeah.
Huh.
So my guess is that the Seuss estate is just really, really fucking protective over that ride.
Well, we saw what they did with the movie. We don't want to risk anything. I was going to say that. We don't want to risk anything. Mike Myers went on the ride last time. It all went to heck.
Okay, but the thing that kept me from going on Cat in the Hat again, I really like Cat in the Hat. It's a solid dark ride. It's really long. I like how faithful it is to the book.
They drop a piano on you.
But the thing that kept me from going on Cat in the Hat again was the fact that a guy tried to take a selfie in the loading station and he got yelled at.
Wow.
Yeah, it's that bad. It's that bad.
Huh.
And I was like, okay, this is not visitor friendly, and I don't want to go to a place that's not visitor friendly.
Yeah. But yeah, Cat in the Hat, that is a fun ride.
It's a quality dark ride. It's just a shame that it's got kind of this political overtone to it,
Yeah, security should be dressed like fish.
Okay, so guess what ride I went on next?
Oh yes. Please tell me.
Food Rocks.
It's Spider-Man. Come on now.
Yes. Hooray!
So I guess it wasn't as good as Transformers.
Monkey, that joke is just
okay.
I'm sorry, it's just like, yeah, obviously fucking Spider-Man is better than Transformers. It goes without saying at this point.
All right, but Tiki, tell me, what did you think of Marvel Superhero Island? What did you think of that section?
It's interesting, Dragon. I feel like Marvel Superhero Island is actually one of the least immersive islands in the park because it doesn't have a lot going on in terms of theming, even though it has two of the best rides there.
Yeah, it's like giant cutouts in city buildings.
Yeah.
Right. I will say my favorite land in Islands of Adventure is definitely Toon Lagoon. In terms of just atmosphere and setting.
Did you check out the comic shop at the superhero section?
No, I didn't get a chance to.
Right. Did you meet any of the characters?
No, I saw Cap there. I saw Cap, but I didn't get a chance to meet him.
Did you go to his diner?
No, Dragon, I didn't go to his diner.
There.
What did you get to
I
do?
didn't go to his diners because we had plans to go to City Walk outside the park for dinner, so I didn't really want to spoil myself on food outside of that hot dog we had before we hit Diagon Alley.
Okay, well, we're burying the lead here. Okay, Spider-Man. I gotta know. What did you think?
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, yeah, it's it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I heard really good things about it, and it lived up to my expectations. I wouldn't say it was a Men in Black thing where it just completely transcended my expectations, but that's just because my expectations for Spider-Man were so high to begin with.
And Men in Black was low as well.
Exactly.
And also Men in Black is more physical, but
that too. That's definitely a factor.
I always loved that it was kind of an extrapolation of the 90s cartoon for Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, was a lot of people's Spider-Man. It was kind of the answer to the whole Batman the Animated Series being everyone's kind of definitive Batman. 90s Spider-Man was a biggie for everyone. It's kind of like loosely based on it, the ride. But, you know.
Yeah, so it is sort of weird like having the pre-show videos be like in the style of that cartoon and then the ride is something else.
Speaking of pre-show, I did not do the pre-show because we did single rider on this, so just bear that in mind.
Yeah.
Well, did you go around the Daily Bugle at all? Did you get a look at it? No. Oh, man, that's a shame.
I'm guessing you would have seen the first room at least, right?
I don't think so. No, the single rider is weird. It just takes you through a hallway that gets you right up to the loading area.
I don't know if I've ever done that. I don't know if I've ever done like the single ride. I might have done it once, but because I remember being at like the end, where you're in like the sections getting ready for line, they might have paired you up whenever they do that. But
and the hallway was really weird because it legitimately felt like it was like a behind the scenes area of the ride. You know,
I mean this room at the web
members only area.
If I did that, it was once, but I'd say I remember that Daily Bugle set very well. That was a good set.
And I'm guessing did you see the Stan Lee cameos in the ride?
Yes, of course I saw the Stan Lee cameos in the ride. Of course I did.
You know what's weird? I don't know if I think they added that after a few years. I don't know if that was
sort of. Yeah.
I know they updated the ride significantly a few years ago.
Yeah, mainly in the animation.
Right. But it was like a significant animation upgrade.
Oh yeah. So and then it's like
this is basically a preview of like this is kind of like the litmus test, like the high bar that they have to reach for a Sinister Six movie.
Oh yeah.
Because I thought the Sinister Six was handled really well in this attraction.
That'd be so funny if it was like the versions as they appeared in the musical.
Let's see, is it 6? Because it's not the definitive Sinister Six lineup because they just pair together what they could kind of afford to get together. So let's see.
Doc Ock, Electro,
Hobgoblin
in there.
That one female Scream thing. Banshee?
Yes, you have. Well, she's a Venom. She's like one of the Venom symbiotes. So you have her. I don't think it's Shriek because Shriek's the one I think you're thinking of, but it's Shriek or it's a Venom. It's a Venom, not a Shriek. The point is you're like She Venom. That's what she's called, She Venom. So you have She Venom. You have Doc Ock. You got Hydra Man.
Yeah, with Doc Ock as the leader.
You got
Hydra Man was actually my favorite character in the ride because I think he's an underrated Spider-Man villain, and I think he's really cool power.
Scream. It's Scream.
Scream. Right. Okay. Scream. There we go. Scream. Doc Ock, Scream, Hydra Man.
And Hydra Man is Patrick.
Yep.
God.
Doc Ock is Squidward, and Spider-Man and Jameson are Scuttle. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say is that I've heard so much about the free fall in Spider-Man that it was kind of... I don't want to say it was a letdown, but it wasn't quite as thrilling as I was expecting it to be.
It is cool, though. You got a bit.
It's cool. It's just like, oh, that's... okay, we're doing it now. All right.
I love that him. I love that Spider-Man. Peter Parker taking the pictures. The picture that ends up being the ride. That's nice. And did you catch the ending with how J. Jonah Jameson? He's
think
pinned.
they take a picture, but whatever. Okay.
No, they take a picture.
Like, and not an on-ride, an actual on-ride photo.
I don't remember on-ride photos.
I'm pretty well. I know. I could have. Well, I know they used at some point they had an on-ride photo, and I could have sworn it was tied to the photograph.
But anyway, so yeah, Jameson at the end.
Yeah, Jameson at the end. It's so funny. Like Spider-Man, there is like a note, like Spider-Man used to do. Yeah, he's like returning like your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, etc., etc. And it's with the gravity gun that Doc Ock's using, and you'll notice it's pointed. It's like a little green light effect. It's pointed to J. Jonah Jameson's office, where you can see Jameson is like pinned to the ceiling. It's Spider-Man.
He's like floating around.
Yeah, he's floating around. So he's screwing with Jameson at the very end of the ride. It's like,
and Stan Lee even says as you exit, like, I better see about getting Mr. Jameson down.
Yeah.
Yep.
What'd you think of the gift shop?
That, yeah.
And of course, like,
I would have rewritten this, except they closed the single rider line when we went back around.
Bizarre.
Yeah. So that was a shame that I only got to do it once. I really wanted to do it again, but at the same time, I was like in a new park, so I didn't want to do it again right away, because you know the feeling of being in a park you haven't been to. You just want to get to the next thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still gotta get a lot of love for that. I still have like a straw I bought from that ride years ago with Spider-Man hanging on the end of it as always. To lovely.
All right, anything else about Spider-Man?
Nah, I'm good.
All right.
Iron Man's in it.
Okay, so then we went to Toon Lagoon. Dudley Do-Right was great.
Yeah, I've been on that one.
You did the standby queue, I assume? Wait, yeah. I think it's only that or Universal Express, so yeah.
Standby the second time, so yeah, I did get to experience the standby, and the standby is great.
Yeah.
I mean, this, obviously, it's not as good as something like Splash Mountain or even something like the Knott's Berry Farm log ride. I don't think it's as good as.
Yeah, like, especially in terms of the animatronics.
What?
Especially, like, effects-wise with the animatronics.
Yeah, there's no Brendan Fraser in this one.
God. It's still a lot of fun, though, and I really enjoy the aesthetics of it.
Yeah, it is a fun one.
It's funny. If I would have picked to either go on Popeye or Dudley Do-Right, I think I would have picked Popeye over Dudley Do-Right.
That's not what happened.
Nope.
Not necessarily by choice either, but still.
Nope. Because I know that Popeye has the big octopus animatronic that I really wanted to see.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Again, I really wanted to do Popeye. That was a disappointment that was closed. To be fair, I kind of figured that at least one of the water rides at the park would be closed, but, you know, still.
Yeah, not necessarily. Yeah.
Okay, let's kind of have to backtrack through the pictures here. Okay, let's get to Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Not much to say about it. I think the Hollywood version is definitively better.
Also, you did get to go on it?
Oh, yeah. It was Kong that I was kind of questionable if I'd be able to get to go on it or not. River Adventure, yeah.
Do you know which version that Spielberg gets off of the top at? Is
That's
it?
Jurassic
I think
Park.
The original in Hollywood, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, the Florida one has a neat element or two, but in some ways, Hollywood might be a little better.
The raptor cage got me in Florida. The raptor cage did get me. That legitimately was a jump scare for me.
Yeah.
But no, Hollywood's is definitively better. Just definitively better.
All right.
I mean,
yeah. I mean, like, Hollywood actually has an ending.
Hollywood has a build-up to the T-Rex, yeah.
Yeah, the build-up to the T-Rex, and then and then Richard Kiley at the end saying, "This concludes your tranquil journey through the world of the dinosaurs. We hope you'll come see us again soon."
Not to mention, Hollywood has the second T-Rex animatronic where it's just the head that pops out, which I think is the most effective jump scare in the whole park in Hollywood.
But yeah, that build up to the T-Rex is so much better in Hollywood.
Oh yeah, I was shocked how little buildup there was in.
No, Florida, it's more like T-Rex.
Yep,
T-Rex.
T-Rex.
T-Rex, oh, drop.
Be cool if they had like an animatronic built in for the ones that are like on display like this, where they just, where you like have these photo ops like dinosaurs or like kind of the vehicles from Jurassic Park around the place.
I know there's that raptor that they have. I'm guessing they still have in Florida.
I was say if they have like one that can like kind of pop out, like that's like something on a loop, like a certain time, like how that dragon in Harry Potter like kind of breathes fire. If a dinosaur like emerges and roars or something, they have that on a loop. That'd be kind of cool and scary.
Okay, so not counting the raptor then.
In Hollywood, it's just in Hollywood they obscure the T-Rex behind a waterfall, and in this one it's like I think they obscured the T-Rex with fog, maybe.
Kind of, and also in Hollywood the T-Rex swings out on a mechanical arm.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
So it's like floating in midair.
Yeah.
Okay. Next. Oops. Sorry. Wait. No. Sorry. That's the direction I want to go. My bad. Fire, Mr. Smee! Okay, you know what? I'm not going to waste a lot of time on Harry Potter. Oh my god,
that's another Hans Conried character!
You're right, you're right. I'm not going to waste a lot of time on Forbidden Journey because I still consider it to be among the best theme park attractions ever made. I think it's better in Hollywood simply because of the Dementor room alone is better in Hollywood.
Yeah. Agreed. The Dementors are even scarier in Hollywood. Like, they look like they have like alien faces in Florida.
Granted, I will say I didn't get a chance to go through most of the Wizarding World, but I will say the actual land looks a little bit more immersive in Florida.
In Florida?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I didn't get a chance to really take it in, so I don't know.
Then again, Florida doesn't have the Walter Lantz building.
Exactly. That's kind of my case in point. So let's talk Kong Skull Island or Reign of Kong. Skull Island, Reign of Kong.
Yeah.
This was another big surprise for me. Monkey, I know you're not doing Universal, but do you want spoiler warning for this one?
No.
No? Okay.
Yeah, I remember I've seen video of it once, and I still kind of remember.
You know that there's an onboard animatronic.
I kind of know that, yeah. Yeah.
Which really surprised me, because I had no idea.
Yeah. And there's also, like, a characters in the queue, right? Yeah, okay, I'm not looking forward to that. The thing
about Skull Island was that the line was 30 minutes long, and we decided to go through single rider, and we really should have just gone through the actual standby line.
So how does this ride work, Tiki?
I mean, but did you still like get to see that animatronic in the queue, or?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
Yeah. This ride is basically like a Universal Tram Tour, except without the tour guide, because the tour guide's an animatronic. It's really cool. This ride is really immersive, actually. I actually really like this ride a lot.
Yeah, it was still under construction when I went, so.
Monkey, as you know, obviously I did enjoy the Kong 360 at Hollywood. I enjoyed that quite a bit. What's my favorite? What's my famous line from that one, Monkey?
Oh, is it all concrete?
No, not that line. The line I was looking for.
I know. How is this more thrilling than Transformers?
Yes, exactly. I will say the Kong 360 element is basically like the finale before you see the Kong animatronic. So it's not the whole ride by any stretch. There's a couple.
It seems like there's still a bunch of screens in the ride, from what I remember.
Yes, it's still a bunch of screens, but I think they do a build up to Kong really well. The build up to Kong in this is it's similar to how they build up Voldemort in Gringotts, where it's like kind of like Kong is supposed to be like this larger than life figure. You know what I mean? Like they build him up really well throughout the ride until you finally see him at the end. And I gotta say, him at the end is really, really cool. I mean, I don't think that animatronic is dumbed down at all from the Confrontation days. I really don't. Obviously, the exterior of this is stunning, although I wish that you get a better view of it as you're walking up to it, because it's kind of hidden. It's kind of hidden behind... you kind of have to look up to see it as you're walking by it.
Right.
It's kind of in a weird corner of the park, to tell you the truth.
So did you not have any characters going through single rider?
No, not going through single rider, no.
Okay. That's something to consider.
Something to consider, yeah.
I mean, although, of course, I'd like to see the full queue effects.
And also keep in mind, single rider is probably not going to save you time.
No taken.
Yeah, that's also a thing to note. Actually, single rider was kind of driving me crazy. I remember I was kind of messaging the group all right, let's see how much time I actually save. I ended up saving about 5 minutes. I got on it at in 25 minutes versus a 30-minute wait, which totally wasn't worth it. All right. Okay, moving on from Kong. About towards the end here, folks. Towards the last day, I should say. Oh, hold on. Dragon, I'm sure you appreciate this as much as I did.
Yeah. It's the Phantom.
And wait, holy shit, is that DuckTales?
Wait. What? I kind of doubt it, but...
No.
But at the same time, oh, wait, no, it's a possum. It's a possum. Never mind.
Possum Tails. Play dead.
My confusion, though, right? Because it looks like a McDuck.
Yeah, it does look kind of like Huey.
Yeah. I was like, oh my god. Because Scrooge McDuck is an important comic book character. He wouldn't be entirely out of place in Toon Lagoon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I like that the Phantom is right at the start of Toon Lagoon, because it's a very good transition from Marvel Superhero Island.
It is a nice touch. I will give it that, you know.
Okay, let's talk about Hulk for a second. Dragon, you haven't been on the Hulk, right?
No, I'm not a big coaster guy, but I do respect the Hulk, though.
You respect the Hulk.
I respect him.
Okay, there was a moment on the Hulk. I did single rider through this, so I didn't get to see the queue or anything. I don't really...
Probably not missing much. But...
Yeah, I figured.
Well, you got to go through the metal detector.
I did, yay!
Did you pass the test?
Yes, I did.
Good lad, good lad.
I will say the people at that metal detector were a lot friendlier than the people at the City Walk metal detector.
Good.
What you got in there?
Yeah.
Nail clipper? Anyway.
Because after that incident, I was like, oh god, are all people who work metal detectors just going to be straight up dicks in this park? Nope.
Hey, you, boy, what do you have there?
just the City Walk ones were dicks.
So the coaster.
The City Walk thing it's just not how you do customer service. It's just not how you do customer service at all.
All right, Hulk. Mighty Hulk.
Yeah, I'm guessing they haven't changed much since they upgraded it, but... Yeah.
I had a terrifying experience on this thing, and it wasn't because of the coaster. It's because we got stalled on the lift hill for a couple minutes.
Whoa.
Yeah, could you imagine that?
Does this one go upside down?
Yes.
Imagine if it got stuck upside down.
I don't think that's physically I don't think that's physically possible to do, because I think you just roll back.
Oh.
Insert image of Carl and Shane stuck upside down.
Oh,
exactly.
Or Arnold and Eugene, for that matter.
Well, they weren't upside down, though.
You're right, they weren't. Could you imagine how much more harrowing that episode would have been if they were upside down, though?
God, yes. It'd be a lot more harrowing than if they were stuck in a tree.
Okay.
But yeah, Hulk is a cool one.
Right.
Hulk is a top 5 coaster for me.
How'd you do Dr. Doom?
Nah, I didn't do Dr. Doom, nah. I mean, can you really blame me for not doing Dr. Doom?
I was saying after all, kind of our Wakanda and all our fanciful, oh man, if they got Dr. Doom.
Okay, maybe if Dr. Doom was an actual attraction and not just a drop tower, alright? Maybe if...
Just saying for the name recognition. Man, Dr. Doom, if only, you know.
No, I did not do Dr. Doom, Dragon. Okay, and yeah, just walking out of the park, I love the entrance area to Islands of Adventure.
Yes.
Yeah. You agree with me, Monkey?
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. It's really nice. Almost kind of reminds me of like a World Showcase country for a country that doesn't exist.
Yeah, or like something out of Disney Sea.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely got a Disney Sea vibe to it for sure. So we got lost park hopping from Islands of Adventure back over to the Studios Park. So we ended up at Twosome's Chocolate Emporium.
Yeah, so unfortunately you didn't get to do Mummy, which I'll be nice and not rag on you
There's the
terribly
image.
much about that.
Yes, there's the image, Dragon. This is what you've been waiting for.
Yes. Why? Tell me the story, Tiki. Tell me the story.
Okay, the story is that this is Penelope Twosome. Penelope Twosome is the professor who invented Twosome's Chocolate Emporium. She's got an elaborate backstory about basically losing track of her family, and the Chocolate Emporium is like her way to get back in touch with her family because her family loved chocolate. So she hopes that by opening the Chocolate Emporium, and basically she's like a female Willy Wonka with parental issues, much like Johnny Depp Willy Wonka has.
Mm-hmm.
And then the robot assistant is named Jock.
I'm sorry, is it what?
Is named Jock.
Ah, his name Jock, okay.
But like the French Jock, not like
Right.
Jock Lindsay from Indiana, like Jock.
Jock.
You know, like Jackass. You know, it's spelled Jackass, but you
Jacques.
I just want to know in this backstory how she took the land that used to belong to an NBA restaurant.
It doesn't say.
Yeah, I tell you, I'm in with this story right now. Like, this girl trying to, kind of connect to her family's history with chocolate and has a robot sidekick. That's awesome.
It is awesome, Dragon. This restaurant is amazing. This is one of the best moments of my trip. I
knew of the restaurant, but I didn't really know it had a backstory or anything like this elaborate.
So what's her name? So it's Twosome. What's the first name?
Penelope
Twosome.
I think the middle name is like Poppenheimer or something like that.
Penelope Poppenheimer Twosome.
Something like that. Don't quote me on the middle name.
Penelope Twosome.
And these two just walk around the restaurant and just interact with guests. And the lady is wonderful because she's just like all into dessert. So she's just like, she literally saw my milkshake I was drinking. She's like, "Oh, you got the key lime."
Oh my goodness! That's the thing. When I saw this image, is this really happy looking lady with like these goggles on just really struck me, and then I noticed like the another goggle looking thing to the side was apparently the eyes of a robot, not goggles. It's like, wow, it's very.
No, that's not even.
Nope.
Anyways,
Fast and the Furious is going.
Fast and the Furious. It's gonna be next to King's Cross.
No, I know, but wasn't that where Terminator was?
In Florida?
Did Jimmy Fallon replace Terminator?
No, Jimmy Fallon replaced Twister. Fast and the Furious is replacing Disaster and Beetlejuice. I don't know or don't remember what's going where Terminator was.
Okay.
Anyway, but I mean, yeah, it's just really sounded really pleasant. I'm glad you had a good like an interactive experience there. I had for me it was it's kind of funny. Belle from I guess it was from Magic Kingdom. Yeah. No, actually. Okay, it wasn't. Sorry, it was either Magic Kingdom or it was Hollywood Studios. I think it might have been Hollywood Studios because Belle there was kind of close to the Art of Animation exhibit back when it was there, and a really pleasant interaction with Belle. And then the following year, there was again in 2012, you had Brave and you had Merida. And Merida, I recognized it was the same girl. It was the same Belle, and she was still very pleasant. I didn't like bring it up to her. I just kind of I said, Merida is so familiar. I think I've seen her before. Oh my God, it's the same. It's the same girl, and I gotta wonder if like she takes on new roles as they come, as like the new kind of trend, like there's like a new section of whatever Hollywood
I'm
Studios.
sure she's friends with characters, but yeah.
Yeah.
I actually heard that the characters are like super gossipy with each other. Like there's like totally like a social hierarchy to the characters.
That doesn't surprise me.
I've heard that from people who work at the museum. So Twosomes, if this was like a rainforest cafe where the theme of it was really, really immersive, but the food was meh, I still would have had a good time. Having said that, the food, let's fucking talk about the food at this place. Oh my god. Oh, holy cow. Okay, my grandma's French onion soup. To die for. I wish I would have ordered this too. It was so good. Oh my god. I'm salivating over thinking about it, honestly. Like, this whole podcast is getting me hungry. And this is what I had. The fettuccine Alfredo.
Ooh.
Best pasta I've ever had, bar none.
Nice.
Best pasta dish I've ever had. This was stellar.
Those Twosomes know how to do it right.
It was amazing. It was legitimately everything I could ever want in a pasta dish. Except the portion could have been a little bit bigger because it was just so good that I downed it in like 5 minutes. But you know what? I didn't even care because it was so good. And then, of course, we had some drinks, too. This is kind of some of the steampunk theming inside. Mm-hmm. It's all very steampunk, in case you...
Oh, man, this place is getting better and better. It has steampunk influence. That's awesome.
Yeah, of course it has steampunk dragon. It's like, I'm surprised you couldn't tell from like the look of the characters that it's supposed to be steampunk. I'm not quite sure what my grandma got. It's some sort of chicken dish, as you can see. Looks very well prepared, though. I know she really liked it. And we got drinks. I got a Manhattan, which was called a chocolate old-fashioned here, and it was interesting because it was a Manhattan made with some chocolate syrup in it, so it had a chocolate kick to it. It got me so drunk. Bunky, I can see why you don't drink, man. My grandma had a Moscow Mule. Yeah, this Manhattan just got me wasted. I mean, I was wasted... like through the Oscars when we went home and watched the Oscars. I was gone.
Woo! Shape of Water! Woo!
I was like, sit down, Francis. You've had your moment.
Guillermo!
Hey, Jimmy Kimmel, why don't you just give Francis McDormand your dick while you're at it?
Someone give Sam Rockwell a little jet ski.
Oh, God.
Just give him a little one.
Just a little one.
Like a remote control one. He was nice.
Scottsboro Boys deserved best sound design of a musical.
I swear to God, if Roger Deakins doesn't win best cinematography, I'm going to go postal.
If only Roger Davis won for song.
Okay.
Wave to the camera, Benjamin Bratt.
To be real here for a second, though, the one major regret I have of my trip, like the major regret that both my grandma and myself have, not going back into the studios park. Because there were a lot of things we could have done. Mummy is, of course, the big thing we missed out on.
Yeah. So I guess I know what you're doing first when you get back.
I guess so.
Yeah, like, I understand why you didn't go back there, but...
We also missed Kimmel. We missed Shrek 4D, which I did want to do. What now?
You said Kimmel.
Oh, Fallon. Oh,
Other Jimmy.
I'm sorry, yeah, other Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed Fallon.
Can't
and I did miss Rip Ride Rocket, which I've heard bad things about it, but you know what? I'm a coaster junkie, so, like, you know.
Fair enough. Yeah, so then you'll get to see the horrid pre-show animation.
Oh, God. Also, I imagine Rip Ride Rocket doesn't really have the best single rider system, considering it's just rows of 2.
Maybe?
I don't know. I know California Screamin' has a pretty shit single rider system, so...
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, Rip Ride Rocket, I was kind of just relying on that having a short standby.
Guess not.
Well, I don't know. It could have had like a 5-minute wait for everything I was hearing about it.
The more you wonder, bum 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 bum.
But seriously, I gotta say, Rip Ride Rocket is like, I know it's a bad coaster, but I have a thing for bad coasters. I have a thing, like, bad coasters are almost kind of like bad movies for me. It's like, I enjoy them.
In what sense bad?
Like, bumpy and like, holy crap, how is this thing even still standing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The memory of sitting in the Twister gift shop, still recovering from Rip Ride Rocket because there's no calm rides in the area.
I know your dad really likes Rip Ride Rocket because he's a
Mhm.
classic music. He's a classic rock guy, so I know he really enjoyed it.
What else do we get?
I think that's about it for the day, unless you guys want to hear my thoughts on the Oscars.
No. Let's not get into that here.
Okay. Okay, guys, here we go. Final day, and I gotta say, I'm tempted to cut the podcast now because there's a lot of stuff that we still need to get through, but we'll just get through it as quickly as we can. All right,
Yeah.
You guys working on that?
Mhm.
Just do the highlights.
Okay, highlights.
Hey!
So, yeah. Speaking of
Dave Goals.
we actually started at test track, but the single rider line was like extending outside the building, so we're like, nope. So we mosey. Actually, the first hour of the day, Monkey, you can imagine, since World Showcase doesn't open until 11, we got there about an hour after park opening, so we couldn't rope drop anything. So the first hour of the day, Monkey, was just us walking from Future World West to Future World East, trying to find something to go on.
I could see that.
That is some mighty fine architecture.
I really want to go on the inside of these pyramids, but unfortunately it's abandoned and it's a DVC club now.
Darn it.
Yeah.
I really want to see the inside of those pyramids, though.
I know, right?
Okay, Journey into Imagination is an attraction that I've heard nothing but terrible things about. And there is one terrible moment in it, which is the slot machine.
Mm-hmm.
The slot machine where it's like, I'm going to spray you because I'm a skunk.
Yeah, it is terrible.
Having said that...
I still have a plush skunk figment somewhere.
God, why?
Wow.
Like, did Kid Monkey actually like that scene?
I gotta have it out for
Monkey
Kid
enjoyed
Monkey.
the ride, and I'd probably still consider that ride a guilty pleasure.
Oh, I definitely consider the ride a
Maybe that was like the only plush they had was skunk figment.
I definitely consider it a guilty pleasure for sure. Honestly, I don't really think it's. I don't really think there's all that much wrong with it outside of the skunk thing.
Yeah, like other than like what it replaced, the original version was. But
Figment's a little obnoxious, but I don't think he's terrible. I don't think he's like Jar Jar Binks levels or anything.
And I'm sure. And you remember who voices him now?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, that, and I'm guessing the Magic Eye Theater still had Feast.
Yes. Hold on, really quick with Journey into Imagination before we get to that, though. The last scene of Journey into Imagination has one of the best illusions in any Disney ride.
Do you mean when the unload appears?
Yes.
Yeah, that is a neat little bit.
That was like, okay, I don't even know how they did that, and I don't want to know. That was neat.
Simple but effective.
Exactly. It kind of reminded me of Philhar Magic with the stage appearing and reappearing, or the archway, I should say.
Yeah.
All right. And then so then we went to do the Future World West track where we headed to Nemo, 25-minute wait. Next. We headed to Living with the Land. The queue was entirely filled up. Next. Well, I guess we can sit and watch a couple Disney shorts before we go into World Showcase.
They have Feast.
They had Feast, Get a Horse, and Piper.
Was this
if it wasn't for Feast being in that lineup, I'd probably check it out.
wait, so this was the Disney Pixar Short Film Festival, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you take part?
Yes, I did.
Good man.
Do you what?
Good man.
I actually had a nice conversation with a guy who was a local who did not know what movies these films were from, so I kind of gave him a little informative, like, oh yeah, Get a Horse was in front of Frozen,
Attaboy, educating the public.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm proud of my boy.
All right, we don't have time to get into in-jokes, Dragon. All
right, fine. Well, come on, keep going.
All right. No, it was neat though. I was like, because he only knew the short films from the actual attraction, because he apparently he doesn't go to Disney movies, but he does like the parks a lot. So yeah, so that was fun. Anyways, actually, there are a few 4D effects in the actual ride. Get a Horse is perfect for 4D.
Yeah, Get a Horse
Oh,
is,
yeah.
I would figure.
Perfect. Like, worked great. Feast, I will agree. Feast is like, yeah. I mean, I don't like Feast. I think
Same.
Feast is overhyped. And Pippin, or I always want to call it Pippin. It's Piper.
Yeah.
Pippin.
Yeah. Piper, that was good. I think there could have been a better Pixar short to represent Pixar, though.
Blue!
I think
Yeah,
they used to have. I think they used to have For the Birds in La Luna.
La Luna would be fantastic, and For the Birds is essential, like, classic Pixar, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Or Lou.
Oh, and I just want to, rest in peace, Robin Williams. I still can't believe he's gone.
Yep.
Oh, hold on. I need to share this.
It's a big drum.
So as we were walking to the Imagination Pavilion, I was singing the South Park version of the Imagination. Imagination.
I remember listening to that song before my last trip there, so now that's
Imagination. Imagine. And I was doing like, the Randy Marsh voice and everything. Imagination. And then when I get into the actual ride, it's like imagination, imagine. I'm like, oh, South Park was not very far off at all. Okay, guys, so I'm just going to set the spoilers. Set the root image to kind of a generic World Showcase thing.
Uh-huh.
This is wasting time.
Fire, Mr. Panchito!
Okay, let's just set it here.
Okay.
Even though I'm not going to China just yet. So next we do Oh Canada over at the Canada Pavilion with Martin Short.
Oh, goody.
I was legitimately surprised that my feet survived this thing, but my feet were not pissed off. They did not threaten to leave me. I didn't have to warn them about Tarantino. It was all good. It was all good.
Good.
And it was a fun Circle Vision show. For my first Circle Vision show, I think this was a good one to do because Martin Short is a lot of fun. He's very humorous in it.
Yeah.
I
haven't seen it, but intend to.
I like how snide Martin Short is about Circle Vision films in general. Like, he kind of riffs on the whole format of Circle Vision. I won't spoil any gags for you in that, but there are some really funny fourth wall breaks there.
that sounds delightful.
There's an especially funny dig at Impressions de France. So, just World Showcase in general is an amazing theme park experience. I mean, there's not a lot like it. Okay. So walking through the showcase, I gotta say UK is probably my least favorite pavilion.
UK, you stink.
UK?
Well, I'm just saying it's got the Howard Hamlin tea shop.
For a second, I thought you were gonna say like Howard the Duck.
No, and that tea shop really should just be the Howard Hamlin tea shop.
Oh, yes.
I don't care if Howard Hamlin's not British. I don't care if Patrick Fabian's not British. It just needs to be the Howard Hamlin tea shop.
Hamlin gets around. He's kind of a world traveling type. He imports a lot of his stuff. I could buy he's kind of has like
A spokesperson for the British Pavilion.
I support quality tea. Isn't that right, Jim?
I mean, the British.
You betcha.
What does it have? It's got like fish and chips and beer. It's like that. It's not the most exciting pavilion, really.
Well, Kim, you see, I have this side business here, where that's how I kind of supplement my income while Chuck's been kind of messing about, kind of muddying the waters.
Strangely enough, this is not where they're putting the Guardians ride.
Nope.
I mean, they've got Yondu.
All right, so for lunch, we went into the Morocco Pavilion to do something that I did want to do, which was Restaurant Marrakesh. Don't go here. Please don't go here.
Okay.
Did you get pepper cash?
Marrakesh. The food was absolutely awful. The belly dancer was cool. I'm glad we got to see the belly dancer. I was kind of assuming that the belly dancer would only be out at dinner, but no, she came out. That was fun.
Did she deliver?
What?
You deliver?
Yeah, she delivered. Yeah.
All right.
There was a really cute moment where she started grabbing a bunch of little girls and pulling them into the audience, and they all started dancing with her. That was kind of adorable.
All right. That's a quality belly dancer right there.
Yeah. Granted, it may be a little awkward for how sexy the belly dancer dances, but I digress.
Oh, yeah. Even the most alluring of belly dancers, she can have a soft side. She can have a soft side for kids. That's endearing. Attractive women are people too.
I mean, this restaurant we had a bad experience in though. We had to move tables because the table we were seated at was just like rocky as all hell. It was uneven, and
I hate when that happens.
And they
to
even
quote John Goodman, "You guys put the rock in Morocco."
God. And they even had to put a coaster under the table, and then they sat someone else at the table, which I thought was super unprofessional.
Yep.
I don't know. That really kind of rubbed me the wrong way right off the bat. I'm like, really? You guys are going to sit someone else at that table, even though it's clearly got an issue.
Okay, so some iffy table manner at Marrakesh.
Yeah. I don't want to flip through the whole thing to find the picture of my food, but the food was disgusting.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I just ordered beef kebabs. Like, I didn't order some fancy Moroccan dish that I wasn't going to like. I just ordered beef. Beef and vegetables. That's really what I ordered. The beef was almost unchewable.
All right.
Borderline unchewable. Came with a side of rice that tasted like styrofoam.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Dragon just doesn't care. Okay. Going back. These drummers, I want to say they were the best street entertainment that we saw through the whole trip. It's vintage Epcot. And I really like it. I really enjoyed it. All right. So after that, we're just kind of killing time before our Frozen Fast Pass, just walking around the World Showcase. I will say Germany is probably my favorite pavilion, which surprised me. Because in terms of food, Germany's got like sausage and beer. Like, that's not something that's really going to appeal to me. I'm not a beer guy. But in terms of the actual atmosphere, I love the atmosphere of Germany. I love the little train set outside. I love the rooftops. I don't know. Germany just did it for me. I really wish the Rhine River cruise was a thing so that Germany could actually have some sort of function outside of beer garden. Okay. So, Dragon, now we get to something that I'm sure you're anticipating.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Finally!
Yeah.
Dragon, I swear to God, I'm not intentionally doing this to you. All right? I just want you... I want to let you know that I'm not intentionally trying to do this.
Oh, boy.
Biggest disappointment of the trip.
Well, you said Nemo was.
No, I said Nemo was the worst attraction. I'm saying this is the biggest disappointment.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. It's not a bad ride at all. It's just in the wrong park. It's in the wrong... Dragon, don't get so depressed, all right?
Go on.
All right? It's not a ride. It's not a bad ride. It's in the wrong park. It totally kind of threw off the vibe of our day, to tell you the truth. Because it's such a whimsical, magical ride, and it's begging to be in the Magic Kingdom. And honestly, I am one of those people who's kind of upset now that the cultural stuff of Maelstrom was replaced by this. It's not a bad ride at all, as I keep saying. It's a good ride. It's a solid e-ticket boat ride from Disney. It really is. Although I will say that kind of the combination of like an e-ticket boat ride system mixed with like a C-ticket dark ride in terms of the actual like length and scale of it. Like, don't get me wrong, the effects are e-ticket worthy, but the actual story kind of feels like a C-ticket dark ride, if that makes sense.
I'm guessing the Olaf animatronic was cool at least.
The Olaf animatronic was great, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the Elsa animatronic was really good too, and the Let It Go scene was good with the backwards portion and all that. I mean, it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
All really fun. As I said, it just threw off the tone of our day. It just totally like that. It doesn't feel like Epcot at all. It doesn't feel like Epcot in the slightest. Now we've got Guardians coming to Epcot, which everyone's freaking out about, but I have a lot of faith that Guardians is at the very least going to reference Epcot and going to like pay tribute to Epcot, whereas Frozen, it literally just feels like they plopped a Magic Kingdom ride down in Epcot. I mean, I'm telling you guys, this feels like it should be in the Magic Kingdom. I mean, that's my main complaint about it.
I hear you.
It's not that it's a bad ride. It's just, it's very, very, very out of place. Dragon, any questions about it? Maybe I could kind of ease some in there.
Well, the Marshmallow and the Snow Minis seem to be an addition. I don't recall when we did our initial reaction to the Frozen ride. I mean, this looks really nice, and it really,
No, I mean, that's been there since the beginning, so I don't know why you don't remember that, but...
Yeah.
Marshmallow doesn't have a lot of movement to him. I would have liked to see a little bit more movement on him. That's the only thing. I mean, it's still nice. You know,
Olaf didn't break down on you, did he?
No. And I was worried that he would, too. All right. So, after Frozen, any other questions, Dragon?
How was was there any special queue or anything for it?
We did Fast Pass for this, so I briefly got to see the queue. From what it looked like the queue was neat because it kind of had this indoor-outdoor thing going on.
Yeah, like it goes through Okins at one point.
Yeah, it goes through Okins,
right.
Kind of all centered around a village, so it does look like a neat queue. That being said, I would not want to actually wait in said queue because the wait times for these things are insane. So
okay, one thing I do want to know before we move on is one thing. Is there a Frozen gift shop?
Well, let's there is, but it's pretty much just the Maelstrom gift shop. This is it.
Oh,
I remember like from Maelstrom, you had to go through 3 gift shops before you could exit the building.
And of course, Maelstrom had the infamous theater show that no one wanted to actually watch.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on. Is it Mexico at Epcot or Jaguar at Knott's Berry Farm? The world may never know.
I love that reference.
Okay, so 3 Caballeros. This is going to sound shocking to you guys. Oh, by the way, this Day of the Dead, Monkey, I really, really hope for your sake that this is still there when you go. If it is, by all means do it. You know why? They have one reason and one reason only.
It says the ofrendas there?
Yes, it has the ofrenda from Coco.
Wow. Yeah, that does sound cool. Is this like when you first enter the building?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I remember there being like display cases of like little artifacts and whatnot. Vanilla Brie's maybe.
Imagine the ofrenda from Coco, but in real life.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah. You definitely need to make a point to check that out. Okay, so 3 Caballeros. I liked this better than Frozen. I really,
which knowing your feelings on screens versus physical surprised me.
Yeah, but having said that, okay, I will say, this is going to sound funny. This is going to sound really funny here, but this is the closest I got to goddamn Pirates of the Caribbean on this trip, so I'll take what I can get. You know what I mean?
Yes, I totally hear you.
Because I pointed out San Angel into my grandma, and I was like, this is totally Pirates.
Blue Bayou, yeah. I mean,
she was like,
it's neat how they do the Mexico Pavilion, isn't it? Like, the nighttime thing.
Yeah, it is the whole pavilion, yeah. So yeah, just floating by that restaurant in itself was like, this feels right. And granted, I did not get to go to the aborted child version of Pirates of the Caribbean, so...
That didn't even have you float by a restaurant at night, so...
So therefore it's meaningless. No, 3 Caballeros, what can I say? It fits in the park so well. I love how it feels like a cheesy 1960s travelogue. Of course, you know, like connecting it to El Rio de Tiempo.
Yeah, El Rio was like a cheesy 1980s travelogue.
Right. I love all the small world style stuff that's left over from De Tiempo. I don't know. This was just a really, really nice ride.
Yeah, it's not much, but I enjoy it.
Like Frozen is, but
yeah, and that must have been cool seeing those animatronics there. Like, I definitely look forward to that.
oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, they are historical.
right.
Like, they literally are historical.
They're the same ones from Mickey Mouse Review, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, like, I am totally fine with Coco replacing this, as long as I get to go on this one last time.
right. I hear you.
And yeah, you know, it'd be sad to lose this a little, but on the other hand, like, it's Coco. The environments in that movie, oh god.
But here's the thing. I think to do a proper Coco ride, they basically just need to
redo the whole thing.
Test track on this thing and just make the whole pavilion the ride.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I would have concerns about if they just retrofitted this into Coco. Like, even if it was on the level of Frozen Ever After.
There's not enough space for this. There's not even enough space to do something on the level of Frozen Ever After on this.
Mm-hmm.
They need to use the whole Mexico building.
Yeah.
Don't they have like an outside counter service in Mexico? I mean, that could be an option.
Yeah.
So,
oh, maybe there's still a way to combine.
They could just expand the counter service into a table service.
Yeah.
Maybe even still find a way to work in the San Angel Inn, like dining too, perhaps. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so it's not like Epcot doesn't have space.
We walked around the Odyssey building, which was really weird.
They should do something with that building.
They really should. I mean, seriously, it's like this weird shortcut that everyone knows about, but there's just nothing there.
Is it a shortcut?
I would say it's a shortcut.
I'm trying to remember. I remember like some of it being blocked off or whatever. Maybe
it's a shortcut from. It's a shortcut from Showcase to Test Track.
I'll have to look back into that.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a shortcut from Showcase to Test Track. Okay, so so me and my grandma, we did get around to doing Test Track again, and this picture is just literally me. The reason why I don't have both hands up is that I think that my phone is about to go flying out of my pocket.
And Universal's like, this wouldn't have happened if you had lockers.
Oh god. In Test Track, like I said, I love the fact that my grandma embraced it so much. And then I did Mission Space again, but instead of it being a walk-on, it was like a 25-minute wait, and I felt those damn 25 minutes.
It's gonna be so weird getting in a Test Track car and not be on racers.
Yeah, look, I think the comparisons between
I mean, just because I'm so used to racers now.
The comparison between racers and Test Track, I feel like, is a little unfair because obviously Test Track came first.
Well, yeah,
Racers has the whole IP thing going for it.
Yeah, I mean, just in the sense of the ride system.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that Test Track does some things a little bit better than Racers. Like, I think the finale in Test Track, well, it's not as elaborate as Racers' finale. I do think it's a little bit more of an adrenaline rush.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know.
But anyway.
Yep. Alrighty.
Then you did one last celebratory ride on Nemo?
No. Mission Space loads so slowly, though. I just want to point that out.
Yeah, seems like it would.
Okay. So then we were going to go take the boat ride back over to the World Showcase to kill time before our dinner. And guess what I found at a stand during Food and Wine? Or, I'm sorry, not Food and Wine. The Flower
Garden? What did you find?
I found Dole Whip.
Ah!
That was beautiful. Like, this is something I wanted to work into the narrative of the whole trip report, was like me trying to find Dole Whip the whole time and then finally offhandedly finding it at a Flower and Garden stand.
Tiki's quest for Dole Whip.
No, seriously, like we were gonna go to Trader Sam's the first night, and Trader Sam's has Dole Whip, but then we didn't get around to going to Trader Sam's. Magic Kingdom, the line for Dole Whip was too long, and this was perfect because there was no line for it. It wasn't even
It's an Epcot.
Yeah, it wasn't even advertised as Dole Whip. It was just advertised as pineapple soft serve. But I was like, oh, I know what that fucking is.
Yeah.
It really needs Mark Rylance doing doing an advertisement for Dole Whip.
Dole
A
Whip.
Dole Whip by any other name would sound as sweet. It would taste as sweet.
Dragon, do Mark Rylance saying Epcot.
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 Disney
Sorry,
did make the BFG movie.
My joke.
What if they were somehow able to make a BFG ride for the UK?
I would be down for that.
Yeah.
I don't think it would happen because BFG was kind of a flop.
Yeah, and who knows if, like, how well it would tie in educationally to the UK, but...
It'd tie in better than a lot of things would.
Let's
Okay.
make a ride based on Dunkirk in the UK.
Oh my god, that would be badass, dude. That would be metal. No, I would be so down for that.
Imagine this: you're in the POV of the soldiers inside the ship, and anyway you can't see the Nazis, but you're looking.
Disney did a POV of a soldier already. It was called Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, the Gettysburg version.
It'd be better than Lincoln.
Well, better than that version of Lincoln.
No, I mean
Yes.
basically with something like Dunkirk, what they could do is like how Mission Space is like an uber realistic simulator of space. This could be an uber realistic simulator of war.
Yeah. Get bodies floating in the water. You know, you got the hope that the boats are going to show up. The hope that Rylance will be your savior on that one. But yeah, it'd be a lot of.
All right, so we take the boat over to France.
Again, more Dunkirk.
Yes. No, hold on. Okay, drop the Dunkirk, Dragon. We're trying
All
to
right.
actually get through this.
We're Dunkirk.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about American Adventure, which we did next. So this was weird because it's basically like the entire Mr. Lincoln show is squeezed into this show. Outside of the actual Mr. Lincoln speech. Like you've got the two brothers thing.
Golden Dream.
You've got the glory, glory, hallelujah thing at the end. It is weird. It's like, especially the two brothers thing, that really threw me off.
Yeah.
I was
It's
like, oh shit, I've seen this exact same thing before at Disneyland.
Yeah, it's like I don't remember the song well, but I remember that it happened. So then when Lincoln opens, it's like, oh, so they're using that song.
Right. So yeah,
It wasn't like, did you recognize them when they pop up for the picture?
Oh yeah, I did.
Like
I
those
did.
electronics.
American Adventure is an impressive attraction. I would love to see the inner workings of that thing. I'd love to see like the backstage where all the animatronics are,
Yeah, that would be
are held. That would be really cool. But I still prefer Mr. Lincoln just for the intimacy of Mr. Lincoln. Like American Adventure, it's kind of insane that you have to like go upstairs. Don't you have to take
an escalator?
something?
I don't remember how many escalators, but I remember like you had to go upstairs.
Yeah. Like that was surprising.
Yeah. Insert reference to Lion King's Broadway theater here.
So as I said, I love Germany. Here's a little train model, and then Walt would be proud. Walt would be proud of this thing. He really would be.
Gotta love miniature trains.
Just to speak to Epcot in general as a park, I feel like Walt would be super proud of what the Imagineers came up with for Epcot. It's not his future city, but I still feel like it's got Walt's fingerprints on it somehow.
Well, it has the dramatic introduction from Walt Disney. Again, I'm not trying to make a Dunkirk reference here. I'm saying, seriously, the introduction of a land never sounded better than Walt Disney saying, this land here, Epcot.
We call it
compares.
Epcot.
Nothing compares to Walt Disney. That was always my go-to when I think about how Walt Disney sounds. It's always that Epcot. It's always that big introduction.
Can we have a parody of My Shot, but about Epcot?
It's about like all the IPs overtaking Epcot. I am not throwing
Even
away
just making it to be,
Epcot.
even just
I
making
am
it,
not throwing
making-
away Epcot.
yeah, it's like the Disney Corporation, like struggling to make it over the years.
God.
Like, no, forget it. You got Magic Kingdom, that's good enough. No, I am not throwing away. Yep, cut.
Don't make me bring out the Eisner animatronic.
Right.
Eisner is
I
Burr
write that whole song now.
or something. Yeah, I should get on that. God damn, I gotta get on that. So pizza, if we're there yet.
This is the Let's Make Tiki Hungry podcast.
Did we skip over Impressions de France? Or?
No, Impressions de France is after dinner.
Okay.
It's more food.
More food. I won't bore you guys with this. It's just super good pizza.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I will say the one thing about it, though, is that it's rather unfortunate because there was a fucking rock concert going on in the World Showcase at the American Pavilion for Flower and Garden Festival. A goddamn rock concert. Nothing less than a rock concert. And we were seated outside. So instead of having a nice quiet dinner at this Italian pizzeria, which is one pavilion over from American Adventure, or maybe two. Monkey, do you remember if it's one or two?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
It might be right next door. Sounds
It's
about
either
right.
right next door, or there's Germany and then Italy.
I'm gonna assume it's next door, but I can
think
still
it's
look.
next door. I think it's next door. But you can imagine the frustration, right? Where we want to have a nice quiet dinner and instead we get like the loud sounds of this rock concert going on in the background. I mean, you guys can get that frustration.
Yeah.
It was kind of bad. Okay, almost to the end here. Almost to the end.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's talk about Impressions de France, even though this is Italy, because I don't have any good France pictures. Oh, wait, no, never mind. I do. There we go. Okay, let's talk about Impressions de France. Impressions de France was a surprise for me. It really was. I love how old school this thing is. It's the last original thing in Epcot. It's the last opening day attraction that they haven't altered or changed or replaced or anything. I mean, it's exactly the same as opening day. And for that alone, I find this to be kind of a fascinating theme park relic. I love all the music in it. All the music is just classic, like dramatic French music. I love the narrator. Oh, God. Thank God this is a Circle Vision show you can actually sit down in. That's definitely a plus.
It's like a third of Circle Vision, but
I don't care though, because the third of a Circle Vision was still really cool to see. Like, it was a different.
Yeah, it's like you can sit down at least.
Yeah, well,
Seats with backs, if I remember right.
Circle Vision theater. And I like how the concept of Circle Vision, you can do it in a bunch of different ways.
Yeah.
So, all right, yeah, Impressions de France was good. And then walking out of the park, guys, I can't emphasize with you enough how little I wanted to leave this damn place. I was heartbroken walking out of it. I really was, because this was the last day, the last park. It's goddamn Epcot. I was just as emotional leaving Epcot as I was getting to Epcot. So we did Spaceship Earth, we did some shopping at Mouse Gears, and that was it. That was the trip. Yeah. Now, would you like to hear about my last day and the flight home and everything, or you want to just kind of skip over that?
You can talk about it a little.
Okay.
Like, you don't need to go super detailed, but...
I mean, the last day I was very, very depressed. Like, I was legitimately, like, Monkey, you saw my messages on Facebook. I was like, I'm never getting back here again. Woe is me. I'm never going to go to Disney World for as long as I live. Like, I was being pretty melodramatic about it.
Oh, yes, you were, yeah.
Well, Dragon, you didn't get any of it, all right? So you didn't have any room to talk. I never messaged you.
What do you mean I don't have room to talk? I mean, I am leaving and never coming back.
No, I'm just saying, like, you were never exposed to my emo-ness, though. Anyways, my emo-ness, because that's totally a word. Anyways.
Well, it is now.
So I ended up spending $20 at the damn arcade.
Yeah, well, from what I've seen, like, it looks like the Riverside Arcade kicks Boardwalk Arcade's ass.
The Riverside Arcade kicked ass in general. It felt like a Dave & Buster's arcade or something like that.
Yeah, it looked pretty cool.
There was a really cool Space Invaders machine that was like a new Space Invaders, where it's like you had these full-size cannons that you shot at the screen at. There's a Triotech motion simulator in there, which is really cool. It's like $3 a piece to do it, but hey, I had a lot of money to spare there, so you know.
Triotech, like the company that made Iron Reef?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just like a motion simulator where it's like 2 seats and then a screen and then there's a fan blowing on you.
Okay.
It's a little jankety, but it's kind of cool at the same time. I mean, it was kind of like, hey, this is a ride, kind of, on my last day. I was kind of in denial a little bit. You know, I'm not leaving Disney World. See, I'm going on a ride. See? The flight was awful. The flight was so bad. There were a lot of factors there. The biggest factor with the flight is that I couldn't recline my seat, even though I should have been able to recline my seat. You guys, I can't even emphasize to you how much that drove me crazy. I mean, it was getting to the point where, like, 3 hours before we were supposed to land, I was, like, almost in, like, hyperventilating mode about the claustrophobia.
I get ya.
Yeah, it was bad. Next time I go on a plane trip this long, I definitely... Okay, one thing that's going to be funny, Monkey, is that those hour-and-a-half plane rides to go visit you in Southern California, that's going to seem like nothing now. It's going to seem like nothing. It's going to seem like a 20-minute bus ride.
Wonderful. That's some sort of positive. And at least you didn't have to stay the night in Vegas due to mechanical failure.
Yeah, at least that was... Although I would have liked to see Vegas.
Well, okay, you didn't have to stay the night in some other state due to mechanical failure.
Yeah. No, I got to admit, Monkey, now that you mentioned it, it's like it would have been totally kick-ass if we ended up in Vegas somehow, because I was like, oh, okay, this is like another night of the trip, and it's somewhere I've never been.
Yeah, I guess.
Granted, I know just based on our opposing personalities, I'm probably be way more of a Vegas guy than you would be.
Maybe.
Because I'm not a party person at all, but I'm more of a party person than you. So, but yeah, the flight was awful. But the one good thing about the flight was that it made the actual landing back in California that much more bearable, because I was like, oh my God, I just want to get back to fucking California. I just want to get back to fucking California. And that's it. That's really all I have to say, guys. This has been an epic 3-hour podcast, 3-hour plus podcast.
Yeah.
Any last questions?
I don't know. I mean, hope you make it back someday, like sooner than later. And I'm so happy that you got to go there.
Right now, Sandy Claus and I are kind of. It's like we're not planning a trip, but we want to make it a goal of ours to have a solo trip there.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds like it could be fun. Yeah.
I want to emphasize this too. The next time I go there, I want it to be a solo trip, because God bless my grandma. She was super patient with me, and she was a trooper, but I want to go to Disney World without the burden of worrying about where someone else thinks I am. Because there's so many more things I could have done if I didn't have that burden on my mind. Like, I could have park hopped all over the place, man. I could have really just dominated that place if it weren't for my grandma. And like I said, I love the hell out of my grandma. She's probably actually going to be watching this, so hi, Grandma. But yeah, next trip, I definitely want to do a solo trip to Disney World. I'm aiming to do a solo trip to Disney World, even if it's like only like a 3-day thing or something like that, you know?
So, like, no time for Universal?
Universal, probably most likely no. Next trip, honestly, if I'm being honest. Unless I maybe even like you and do a vacation just to Universal.
Yeah, that's an idea. Like a couple days there.
And that would probably be a lot cheaper than Disney too, so.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know how much, but it's something. Like, you don't need to spend a week there.
Well, yeah, exactly. I'd spend like 3 days there probably.
Yeah.
All right, Dragon, any final questions on your end?
Well, I'm glad. I was afraid you weren't going to enjoy it as much as you ended up doing. So I'm glad that you enjoyed certain parts of it. Again,
I
particularly.
loved 90% of the trip. 90% of the trip, I was in love. All right.
So honestly, I guess my assumption was you were going to be in like kind of like this. Again, high expectations were going to be like 70 to 75% range. I'm glad to hear
Animal
you.
Kingdom was the big disappointment, but with Animal Kingdom, it wasn't so much the park itself; it was the layout of the park.
There's certain things I wish you had more of a good time with. But on the whole, though, again, like Men in Black and E.T., I'm glad you had a great time with those two. And I'm glad you got down there. I kind of lived a little vicariously through you on like kind of a first time approach to Orlando. So
And Monkey, let me just say, I am looking forward to your trip just so I can share the same experience that you had of living vicariously.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. So you're fired, Mr. Smee.
Monkey or Dragon, do you want to do a true life narration to send us out?
All right, let's see. All right, okay. Well, folks, we've reached the end of our Odyssey, and I think we've learned a few life lessons along the way. I think we've learned that the rare breed of Imagineer that is the Tiki has learned a thing or two about the differences between Disneyland and Disney World, and hopefully he's all the better for it.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
And, of course, fire Mr. Smee!